you haven't already subscribed to Harris Tribe Media Group, go on over there and subscribe to them. Check them out, see if that's the kind of content you get down for, man. Shout out to the Harris Tribe.
And
And
and and man, definitely listen. A husband and wife duo.
yeah,
Man, let me tell you. If you listen to these two, you can see how in tune they are with each other.
very
And,
powerful.
and that's the thing that I love about them. And their sincerity, their transparency, all of that stuff. And so when you get a husband and wife duo, man, because a lot of people get on here and talk about marriage and all of this stuff, but they're not interacting in the process, live. And so I respect these two for doing that, and shout out to the Harris Tribe Media Group.
I've been in this game for years. It made me an animal. I eat a fake motherfucker like a cannibal. And I don't even understand how he got that far. Cause every time he write a rhyme, it's about his goddamn car. You know the top 10 hottest in the fucking game? Well, 8 of them niggas fucking lame. It's a fucking shame how y'all put them on a pedestal. But I figure you ain't got nothing better to do. So I tell it to you that I'm better than them. If you thinking he really nice with some cheddar on Slim, and I bet you he going down by the 8th round. And I be all up in your face like where that paper now. These motherfuckers think the game is easy. Till a nigga like CZ come through and get greasy. Like, yo, homie, that product you pushing, you need to watch that. Cause real hip-hoppers is coming to take the block back. True Vision be like, and tell them Scissor bitches to take that with commercial rappers go. True Vision be like,
Peace, 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 peace.
Welcome. It's Thursday.
It is.
He said, she said, love and abundance is in the building.
He said, she said.
How y'all doing out there? We made it to Thursday.
It is Thursday.
How you doing over there, mister?
I'm doing good, missus. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
You're looking pretty as
Oh,
usual.
Thank you. Rocking that t-shirts by Nikki merch over there.
Yeah. From the heart of bad stop, baby. Let them know where I'm from at.
Stand up, Brooklyn.
I mean, let them know where I'm
How y'all
from
doing out
at.
there? Welcome, everybody.
Word up. Hope y'all
New
doing
day,
good.
new day. And he
Everybody.
said, she said, love and abundance. Welcome in the chat.
Yeah.
Salute to y'all, popping in.
Salute.
Pressing that little thumbs up button.
Indeed.
The share button would be nice.
Y'all.
Appreciate y'all.
Because we're going to get
Okay.
right tonight. We're going to get deep. We got a great discussion.
Bow.
Not sure if you guys seen the thumbnail and the title card, but y'all know I got y'all, of course. Let's...
Are you on?
Which path are you on? We had 2 paths up there. There's more paths, of course.
An abundance.
An abundance of paths. The 2 we're going to focus on tonight.
Yes.
Particular ones. Psychopaths, sociopaths. Those are 2 unique paths to take.
Yeah. What a path.
But paths nonetheless. Would like to know what you guys think. Check
We
us.
are by no means, psychoanalysts
No, not at
of
all.
any sort.
Not at all.
We're observant folk, though.
Absolutely.
We like to read a little.
We do. We do research and
Just
such.
a little bit.
And we got some stuff.
Yeah. Just bring some thought to you guys.
Absolutely.
You know.
Let's go
Y'all want to
ahead.
build with us? Come on. and build
Yes,
with us.
indeed. Yes, indeed.
But how you feeling? How you doing? How you
Let's
thinking?
Get that pleasantries out the way. Let's go ahead and I see B Nizzle is in the building. My
Hey,
brother.
brother.
How you doing?
How you doing, man?
Candid Ann is on the check-in. Hey,
Okay.
love.
Hey,
How
love.
are you? Hope you
How
doing
are you?
well. Hope your week was good.
Is that your man, Arshawn?
That
In
is
the building?
Arshawn in the building, critically drinking.
Hey, Arshawn.
Amazing
Critically
platform,
drinking.
amazing discussion that they
Yes,
were just
it was great.
having. Could
Yes.
still be going on possibly,
Mhm.
but a lot in line with what I'm speaking about tonight,
Mhm.
but on a much more micro level, as
Oh.
B9 would say.
Hello.
And speaking to attitudes and relationships and how the internet affects relationships, families, you know, our
Mindset.
children, how we raise them, how we curate them, so on and so forth. And, you know, it adds to this discussion that I want to have today about psycho and sociopaths. Shout out to Knowledge and Relationship on the
Yes.
check in.
Welcome.
Families pulling in. Donique on the check in. What up, homie?
Love.
Hope all is well. And tonight's going to be a really good discussion, Mrs. Harris.
I'm here for it.
Of course.
Come on now.
And again, the title, which path are you on? Psycho or socio? And we're going to go ahead and rock a couple of definitions. We got a couple of banners and
Just in
background
case.
cards to throw up, just to give us some meat and some videos to play, of course. But let's get all on the same page.
Right.
Mrs. Harris,
Cheers.
cheers to you. Cheers to everybody
Let's get on
out
that
there.
page.
It's gonna be a talk. It's gonna be a talk. Psychopath. A psychopath is a person affected by chronic mental disorder with abnormal or violent social behavior. Sounds unique and specific, right? One would think. But I started to reflect on my neighborhood. Got my t-shirt right here
Right.
from the Heart of Best Style.
Yes.
Shout out to the style.
Was born and raised there. Queens. Shout out. But we all got some neighborhoods. Unique.
There were a number of chronic mental disorders,
Yeah.
and abnormal or violent social behavior was rather normal.
Right.
So I started to think, how many psychopaths, sociopaths were, you know, walking around the neighborhood and we just, you know, dismissed or labeled as, yo, he's crazy, you know? And it just goes in conversation and dismissed as simple as that, but it's not so simple.
Right.
Some of these people can have complex ways of thinking, behaving, living, dealing with. And I think it's more than just they're crazy. I think it's a little more than the way we dismiss mental health
Right.
and how severe it can get when we disregard, when we enable. What say you so far?
I mean, I agree. Because when you just throw the label on, because everybody affects everybody else. So your behavior, your demeanor, your psychopathness, sociopathness, your behavior affects other people. And that's, you know, the mental block there. They lack the empathy. So there's no care of how it affects you.
Gotcha. And not to
And
say everybody's walking around a psycho or a socio,
Right,
but
absolutely.
I believe there are small degrees in which some people may display behaviors and we may dismiss it or call it something else.
Right.
But if it's not checked, it can turn into a really serious situation where, you know, you might have to go up to the school because of a shooter. You may
Right.
have any type of situation where you just ran across a sociopath. You had no idea.
Yeah. I mean, a small percentage, you know, without it being overlooked or overseen, it can grow into a larger percentage.
Absolutely. Skrilla's on the check-in. What up, Skrill?
Welcome,
See
welcome,
Vice on
brother.
the check-in. The family pulling
Hey.
up. Hope y'all doing well. And we want to know which path you on. Vice dropping them Twitch gang emojis
Yes.
early.
I mean, it's unique. We kind of come to this because, you know, those kind of movies thrill us to some degree because it's very realistic. You know, these are real human beings. They're not, you know, monsters or anything like that, but they have some capabilities of really setting some things in motion of
Indeed.
destruction.
Indeed.
No empathy for anybody else. So, you know, those are some creepy, realistic thrillers. But we're living in the reality now.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. I
let's
see
talk about
us on the check-in. What up, bro?
Welcome,
Bro,
welcome,
hope you're
welcome.
doing good, man. And let me go ahead and finish with my banners. I put up the first psychopath banner, and again, we have another one, psychopath. An unstable and aggressive person. Now that, I see a lot. Unstable and aggressive.
Okay.
again, maybe not on a grand scale,
Right, on a smaller scale.
but on a smaller scale, simmer down a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, and many of us are not really going out to get diagnosed. I think when we go to seek therapy to a degree, we're painting a picture. We're painting whatever picture we want
Right.
to this therapist. Not everybody is going in genuine with what's deep down, or they don't even know where to begin to start. So of course we start with paint a picture.
Okay.
So
Okay. I want to put up a background card.
we are
And
not professional.
we got some signs. I'm going to bring it on this screen right here. Pull it up so everybody can see it. You heard the operative word for me? Criminal activity.
Absolutely. I mean, some of it sound kind of sexy and thrilling. I'm just saying. Ladies,
True indeed.
better watch out. I mean, it's,
I see sis pulling up. Hey sis, what
wolf
up?
in sheep clothing with disguise.
But criminal activity.
Yes.
Again, I reflect back on my neighborhood, which, like
Yes.
I said, we had a lot of mental disorder. We were talking behind the scenes. You alluded to, in your neighborhood, it was the saying, "This person is 730."
Yes.
Unquote. Well,
Yes.
You wanna talk about that?
Yes, I mean, I guess in the mental institutions or even on Rikers Island, it may have been a term for the folks who were considered
mental
to
code
be
or something
right,
like that.
crazy.
Or a section in the mental health ward or something like that.
Right. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong or whatever, but it was in that sense. So it was kind of a pride thing, and some was proud of that to label themselves as such.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Especially when you get upset, because now I'm 730. It's going down.
Right.
No holds bar. Watch out.
And again, the criminal activity, I had a lot of people who dabble in life.
Mm-hmm.
And dabbling in the life, you don't know what that day entails. You may have to
Taking a
delete
risk every day.
somebody today.
Mm-hmm.
Can you delete somebody and go back home and watch a DVD or a VHS tape
Mm-hmm.
and nothing? That's okay.
Right.
That's abnormal behavior.
Yeah.
Now, let's say you got 10 people around you that operate like that. We had gangs in my community.
Mm-hmm.
So, in hindsight, sitting back and even looking at the communities that we live in with so much behavior, in the community. And there's a lot of insensitivity to it.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a level of, sociopath, psychopath?
Right, because sociopaths can be created.
We gonna get to that.
So yeah.
Like the psychopath, that was innate. Again, that's but let's talk about it. Sociopath, a person with a personality disorder manifesting itself in extreme antisocial attitudes and behaviors and a lack of conscience. You may ask, what is?
I was a youth.
I was too.
I'm just saying.
I was too.
Grew up in the street.
Right.
Dabbled in some bad and foolish behaviors.
Choices were made.
Yeah, absolutely. I was absolutely a product of my environment too.
Okay.
Because if I can say when I got to 18, I began to think a little more mature, be a little bit more considerate of my freedom and my foolish choices, reflecting on the trial and error. You know what I mean? So just opportunity, not knowing, what else existed, how to get it, not having the models to show us how to get it.
Right.
So it was unique. It was unique. So I'm glad my models changed. And all of that. So thank God for self-reflection.
So inside of this is extreme antisocial attitudes.
Mm-hmm.
You may ask, what is antisocial attitude? Antisocial personality disorder, sometimes called sociopathy, is a mental disorder in which a person consistently shows no regard for right and wrong and ignores the rights and feelings of others. People with antisocial personality disorder tend to antagonize, manipulate, or treat others harshly or with callous indifference. They show no guilt or remorse for their behavior. Interesting.
Oh yeah.
Icebreaker video, Mrs. Harris, if you don't mind.
That's on a grand scale.
If y'all don't mind.
Come on with it.
How much tattoos you got?
Yeah, chick.
Appreciate it.
Where are you to this?
Just wanna work.
Yeah, cause this one little.
Whoa,
My bad, Chad.
whoa. Wait, you put a hole in my wall.
You rich, you can fix it.
God, you just put a hole in my wall.
What's that right there? That's a video game?
That's for it. Yeah.
Shame. Damn.
People with antisocial personality disorder tend to antagonize, manipulate, or treat others harshly or with callous indifference. They show no guilt or remorse for their behavior. And the reason that I play that as the icebreaker, because it speaks to this, it personifies it. No remorse. You rich, you could fix it. No sorry. Not only that, her man sat right there, said nothing. The other person in the room, nothing.
All men too.
To go even deeper on you, Mrs. Harris, she's a host of a show where other women aspire to be like her. Bad Girls Club, or the club she came from, or whatever she's affiliated with.
Yeah.
There are younger women that aspire to be like her, to be in her space, in her air. And if she's a little sociopathic, what do you think their behavior is?
Social media be creating some monsters, huh?
Shout out to AR on the check-in. Again, just the indifference. The lack of remorse for putting a hole in this man's home.
Just to toss anything that didn't belong to her in a space that doesn't belong to her is disrespectful. So just that disregard for right or wrong, like, oh my goodness.
I said being able to rise above, being a product of your environment is a strong trait. You have not said a lie, my brother.
Who, child?
Yo, I watched this Twitch live. It was wow. And again, to see the men in the room don't hold this lady accountable. Her own man don't say, yo, hold up. Relax.
They see she give out black eyes and shit, so she ain't backing down from, you know what you got into, especially if she coming from the baddies club. Says, you know what I mean? Like, you know what you getting into. You know what you snatched up. And she said, he know what he got.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's read a couple of traits of. And when I look at these traits, like I said, not on a grand scale, but on a small scale,
Right.
I see these, a combination,
Yeah.
a plethora.
A lot of us, yes.
The majority on the list,
Yes.
all of them on the list. Scary. What do you guys think so far?
Mark your list. I had a couple of small little pricks on here.
Absolutely.
You mark a couple of those.
Absolutely. Not to exclude ourselves. Without a doubt.
Wow.
Most of these conversations come from self-reflection, like, wait.
Are
Wait
we
a
all
minute.
a little bit? Just a little
But
bit.
see, here's the thing. We don't have to continue down the course. We
Right.
can correct, self-correct, course correct.
Show some discipline, control, self-control. Even self-control of your thoughts. I used to love watching those sad movies. Like, why do you watch this? Like, it was probably an emotional high. Getting a cry. I'm not upset. It doesn't leave me, to be upset with you after watching the movie. It's just like, really, the tears. Like, it just felt so good. It was beautiful. But, damn, it can create a dynamic mentally.
So yeah, that's what the discussion is going to be tonight. I'm going to put the link in the chat. If anybody would like to come up, they can. But it's going to be a discussion. I would love to hear what you guys think. Let us know what y'all think so far. Don't forget to put hashtag LIA in the chat to promote your channel.
Please do.
Shout out to everybody checking in with us, but we're about to get right with it. Mrs. Harris, let's get back to my banners and what I was unpacking. Going back up. Which path are you on? Some people on a righteous path. Like I said, there's so many paths. Some people are on all types of paths. I just wanted to focus on these two because of what I noticed in current events, in media, in personalities.
Oh man.
How about you? Am I way off on this?
No. I just look at the wannabe influencers. I spend my little time on TikTok. It's not a lot, but when I get to the lives, oh my God, like it's just people looking for attention, and it's amazing to me. Consumed. I couldn't even see me pressing a live on that at all. So I don't know what they're getting, but I know it's attention. If anything, they definitely get some damn attention.
Indeed.
Oh my goodness. And people do a lot. And the meanness gets praised, like you said. You want to follow that young lady and her attitude, like she's getting it. You know what I mean? That's strong and I don't know. But it's not. It's not. It's going to catch up to you. Let's just say.
I agree
At some
wholeheartedly.
point. Because, somebody is not going to tolerate that in their space.
And again, she's just one example of, in my opinion, the majority. I live in the world and I see so many people with these, like you said. Let's go ahead and bring it back. That's what egocentric mean. And everybody say they got money. They running around, you know, CEOs and business owners, and like everybody says on YouTube, everybody's doing the greatest. Not the Harrises, but everybody else.
We got it.
Yeah, but you know, everybody doing so great that that's a characteristic. This grandiose thinking. Everybody's careered up when all
Well,
you got
they
is,
can show it
you know,
off, too.
some PTO and a job.
Right.
So I just see it as small traits, small signs, little flashes of sociopath, psychopath. And we act like it's just Jeffrey Dahmer, it's just Freddy Krueger.
Those are
No.
the extremes of it.
That's the
Right.
ones they show
Oh, yeah.
us.
Hannibal Lecter.
I take it even deeper for you. It's just Bishop. I mean, think about that one, right?
Bishop.
I gotta head out. Shout out to Sean. Thank you for checking us out.
Appreciate you, brother.
Check us out on the replay. We absolutely appreciate you, Sean. We love checking out your material. Always inspiring. That conversation you had today was amazing. You and Bree, Candid Ann, always chop it up nice. And it's always great on the drive home to check y'all out. But Mrs. Harris, Bishop.
Oh yeah.
Don't nobody say nothing about Bishop. Don't nobody say nothing about. Let me play another icebreaker. One more quick icebreaker. And you know what? I'm gone.
I can name a whole bunch.
Y'all name them. Name it in the chat. Who's
My
your
Girl from
favorite
Misery.
psycho?
I Care a Lot.
Who's your favorite
The
psycho? Okay, the
businesswoman,
woman from
that
I
white
Care a Lot.
businesswoman.
Yeah,
Oh,
she
my
was
Lord.
setting up the elderly people. She was definitely insensitive.
Yeah, the calculating ones.
To even be
Dominant
able and
animals.
willing to do that is a little insensitive. Get them declared, you know, incompetent. Go in their house, size up the stuff, get your money on that end.
Right. And psychopaths to the extreme, you know, it's something that starts off young. Like you said, it's genetic, it's inside, it's embedded. 1% of the world's population are psychopaths. So that's millions of people now. When you think about everybody, 1%, that's a lot of folks running around.
So let's do a little bit of learning real quick on what I'm talking about and what we're talking about. Let's get this. Put it up on the screen. Let's get it nice and cropped.
Well, I think the first thing it's important to understand is that there is no official diagnosis of either psychopath or sociopath. These are not terms that psychologists use as definitions. Instead, a diagnosis of antisocial behavior disorder is used. However, the terms psychopath and sociopath are so ingrained in the psyche of the general public that there's no way of getting away from them. So what are the differences then? Well, one of the primary differences is that the idea of whether the person has a conscience or not. So a psychopath doesn't have a conscience. They'll lie through their teeth to you, without remorse, to get what they want. So if they're trying to empty your bank account, they'll do it without feeling any sort of moral guilt whatsoever. A psychopath learns also to mimic behavior, so they'll mimic remorse or guilt or empathy or whatever it is. If you want an emotion, they have them all. A sociopath, on the other hand, usually does have a conscience, albeit it's weak and probably without a moral compass. They know that emptying your bank account will cause you distress. They also may feel some guilt or some remorse about doing it, but it won't stop them from doing it. Now, both psychopaths and sociopaths lack empathy, but a psychopath has absolutely no regard for other people. They see them as pawns in a chess game to be used and completely discarded without a second thought when they've served their purpose.
He just described some personality traits, characteristics that weren't unfamiliar to things that I see.
in many of us.
And again, not on such a grand scale of you know,
Absolutely.
Sis's favorite. Look, Michael Myers in the chat, Judas in the Bible,
Yeah.
Anna Sorkin, Anna Dalvey. She was robbing people. Anna Dalvey. But no, what do you
People
think?
like
What do
the
you think about
Ponzi
his
guy.
Mhm.
I mean, all those you know, white collar crime criminals, they are all a part of that too. Just because they didn't physically delete anybody,
Right.
you don't have to physically delete people to be a.
Talk about it.
So you know, some higher up folk, they kind of psychopathic tendencies to get where they are. Gotta step on some people. You gotta not care about others to some degree, even your own family. Push everybody to the side.
Mhm. And like you said, just you know, sometimes you're gonna have to really focus to tell the difference because of the commonalities and also the distinct differences. Because both lack, you know, empathy, but a psycho lacks sympathy as well. That sociopath will drain your bank account and feel bad about it, but still do it. Know that it's gonna mess you up. Know it's gonna throw you off a couple of weeks or months or years, but still do it.
No regard. That's the psychopath. No regard. They don't care. They're gonna move on to the next person and do it again.
To tell lies to no end with no remorse to get what they want. I see so many people telling lies, maybe 18 years long of a lie, 21 years long of a lie, just to save your own butt. Go to your grave with the lie, just so that you don't look a certain way. That's a little insensitive.
So I say it's kind of bred it to some degree. Sociopaths, like I said, they're created. It's kind of created. You know, we take away the honesty from children very young. We take that away. They learn. We teach them how to lie. So whose fault is it really? Because they're like the most honest. Children are very brutally honest. So we create that. Oh, don't say this, or you can't say that, or whatever the case may be. And then we go.
Peace to God on the check-in.
Peace, peace.
What up, Chef?
You cover up that he likes to squish little worms.
Chef One look like supposed to give him an intimate clap.
Comfy. How you doing, brother?
Good, how are you?
All is well. Look, you can't see us.
We having a talk about psychopaths and sociopaths. Are you aware of these types of personalities in people?
Yeah.
Okay, we are so glad. Who's your favorite psycho, sir?
Well, I can't say I know a true psychopath by definition. What you see in movies.
Yeah.
Oh, probably Freddy Krueger.
Okay. Shout out to Freddie. Shout out to Freddie. Michael Myers was on the check-in. Nikki had Anna Dalvey. A couple of different people.
Man from Psycho.
I'm gonna play a clip. Let's see if this is anybody's choice.
Of O-Dog might be the most insane teenager we've had on camera. We don't need to be talking about Kevin, we need to be talking about O-Dog. That's what makes the film so complex. There is nobody to talk about O-Dog. He shows what can happen with unchecked mental illness in disenfranchised communities where violence is the norm. Because he has open serial killer tendencies that most people would actually try to hide. His insanity is hidden by the unfortunate culture. His menace is done out in the open, and everybody just walks around afraid of him.
That's right. Menace. Menace to society.
Shout out to Menace to Society. Good movie.
Good movie.
But like I was saying, nobody says Bishop from Juice, Old Dog. Like, these are serial killers in our neighborhoods.
Psychopaths.
Psychos. Like he said, we just walk around scared of them. AJ shouted out the Joker, my personal favorite.
Yes.
Harley Quinn and the Joker are my personal favorites. But
that was in his DNA.
what about these people who terrorize our neighborhoods? You came up in Queens, Supreme Team.
Yes. Yes.
Chef, you grew up on a particular block. Somebody might know Chick and May and Bay and names. Growing up in neighborhoods like that with people who have particular lifestyles, and we not only are, walking around scared of it, some of us enable it, celebrate it, condone it, look the other
Respect
way.
it. Look the other way.
What say y'all about that?
I was just trying to keep my life.
Smart woman. Smart woman.
I'm either gonna be on the team, or just respectfully bow out. Being a product of your environment, having another visual, another opportunity out was a good thing. Knowing there was something outside of where I grew up was something that was embedded young. So knowing there was an existence outside of that was, I guess, a future faith and hope that something's going to be different, something's going to change, whatever. I'm going to look for that opportunity for change, and I'm going to pay attention to it versus just not knowing. So shout out to my girl Tara for giving me those opportunities as a little girl to leave up outside of my neighborhood.
Shout out to the Gonzalez.
I appreciate it.
Shout out to the fam.
Deep travel, little
Shout out
kid.
to mine.
Word, they protected me.
All right, we got a couple check-ins. We got sis on the check-in. She said, heck, my disowned brother fit that perfectly. Sad to say, yeah. I mean, so many of us have in our family, everybody don't have such a desirable lifestyle.
Right, absolutely.
And, Candid Ann said paternity court full of lifetime liars. This is
my.
Like, and again, I know we're not full-blown psychos.
Absolutely.
But
right.
there's a little bit, you're a little socio walking around, little psycho walking around, insensitive, lying on people, making up these realities,
delusional,
changing realities, being delusional. You wildin'.
Yeah.
Candid Ann said, what? Mrs. Harris is from Queens, New York City in the hands.
Yes.
Brooklyn and Queens.
Got it, keys to the beamer. Shout out to Candid Ann.
Yes.
Our Caribbean sister. Big up yourself. You don't know.
Man.
Big up yourself.
New York.
You don't know.
Full of Caribbeans. All kinds.
But yeah, man, I played that old dog clip. What y'all think about that? He shot somebody, had a cheeseburger. Said, y'all want a burger? Anybody want a burger?
I swear.
Anybody? Y'all want no? You got cheese on it? It got, got cheese on it. Niggas, hurry up. Dog, hurry up. Nobody skip a beat. Y'all go in there. Y'all do what y'all gotta do. Y'all get the fuck out. I'm gonna be right here waiting for you to murder somebody and come on back.
That's true. I mean, it was the beginning of the desensitization, desensitizing us, because it's to a point now, like, oh my God.
Oh, it's to a point now.
Yeah, for me, because I'm sensitive as hell.
I'm glad you said that. Let's lean
it takes
into
a lot
it.
to desensitize me.
Chef, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
You always ready, Chef.
It's like, you know what I'm saying? They like to take care of. I ain't never had no scammer now.
Really, nigga?
Speaking into existence.
Scam. Ow. The scammers like, you know what I'm saying? They like to take care of. I ain't never had no scammer now.
Really, nigga?
Speaking into existence.
Scam. Ow. Hit my girl up. Call me, y'all call me. For real though. I just want somebody like at this point in my life, somebody that want to do nice shit for me. Scammers love nice shit.
Add value.
Exactly. Scammers love nice shit. That's one thing about it. And I like nice shit.
And all these are nice women. Can I get a quick spin for the camera? Spin. Look at that. That's a simultaneous spin. Who birthday? Whose birthday? Ina's her birthday. Put your cash app out there for your birthday right
My
there.
cash app is.
Get lost.
Yeah, we ain't.
Wow.
We ain't saying no goddamn.
Now again, y'all wanna know why I played that? They want scammers. They want people who have an illegal lifestyle. And if with that illegal lifestyle, I gotta delete somebody before I pick you up for dinner tonight, you give a damn about what I just did. All you care is that I'm paying for this $400 dinner in Roof Chris. And that is sociopathic.
I mean, and not even to the extent of deleting somebody, just robbing people, just stealing people's identity and their social,
destroying their family, their Christmas,
if
their
they
life.
have to, they'll take yours.
But again, the worst of the worst of the worst.
So it happens to you.
Is I scammed somebody that was ready for it, or I scammed the wrong person on that day, and somebody got to make it home and somebody don't. And again, in order for me to even make it home, I might have to do the unthinkable.
Right.
And that just comes with the job of being in that lifestyle. So I absolutely get what you're saying, but you know me, I always go all the way to down the hole. And yeah, it might be some days you got to do something really undesirable. And I don't think these young ladies who say, I want a scammer, they could care less. They have no conscience. They don't care about the families you destroy, the lives you destroy, the money you steal, the lives you delete, the families you break up, as long as they can get them red bottom shoes.
Only question. And I'm asking them, what type of guy you like? A 9-to-5, a scammer, or a drug dealer? Because, you know, some of these girls nowadays, they like that fast money, or they want a guy with a benefit. So we really ask them which one they like. Or the type of guys you prefer. Scammer, drug dealer, or 9-to-5?
Drug dealer. I want him to move that weight. I'm your pusher man.
I'm trying to be on the YouTube. Respectfully, it is what it is.
Scammer, 9-to-5 drug dealer.
Wow, that was quick. Oh, you had this planned out. She had this planned out. She's the expert. That's her whole model right now.
9-to-5 is more reliable, but scamming niggas gonna get you what you want.
Do you got a scamming nigga right now?
No.
You don't got the 9-to-5 nigga?
I don't have anybody.
You don't got the drug dealer nigga?
I don't have nobody.
I have nobody.
Damn, she's lonely. Damn.
It is.
They better slide on her DMs or something. She's taking application for the winter.
I am. I tell the world I prefer 9-to-5, but I really want to scam her in my heart. No funny shit. Because who are you, bitch? We didn't catch shit.
They heard that in that video.
Whoa.
Shout out to AJ on the check-in. What up, bro?
What up?
What up, AJ?
Hey, AJ. How you doing, brother?
What up?
Oh, so
Ain't nothing, man.
Everybody want them scammers and drug dealers?
It
It's
makes sense.
exciting.
Ain't
It's exciting.
ain't
That's
nothing
the
there.
reality.
They want anybody that got the money.
That's what it sounds like.
That's what it seems
what it
like on
sounds
the
like.
surface, AJ. It's not even that, AJ. It's even deeper than that.
Alright, it's even deeper than Nino Brown, huh?
You know why? AJ?
Nino.
Because that lifestyle comes with a certain level of non-discipline,
risk,
non-structure, and at any given time you could be picked up. Any given time. And guess what? Guess what she gets to do when you get picked up? Raid your whole safe, clean out your whole apartment, and move on to the next scammer and do it all again. And think there's consequences. Think it's all fine.
Keep going right with your ass.
She could be.
And that's where I think they get it twisted. You know, the ladies, their lack of reality for the situation, the realistic consequences behind it. Could you be?
Yeah, who's got all that background noise?
But you know, the realistic consequences behind that type of lifestyle, because there are. Yeah, it might go smooth for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Might go smooth for 2, 3, 5. But something can be creeping behind that corner at any moment, and you never know what it is. So it's a lot.
True indeed.
A lot of risk.
What you think, AJ?
I had myself on mute. But yeah, I agree. A lot of risk.
How about you, brother Chef? What you got?
All week.
There you go.
Like, seriously, you know, it's like, dude, like, do you not have a future? You don't have a plan? You have nothing. Like, that drug dealing shit don't come with no fucking dental plan, no 401k. Once you get locked up, that money is seized, Hemi. That is property of whatever county you get caught in now, motherfucker. Like, dude, like, come on. It's flashy at the time. It's fun at the time. It's this at the time. But reality always sets in. Because as bad as Scarface thought he was, reality set the fuck in quick. You know what I mean? So it's like, look, dude, that shit, you gotta have something. Like, it's good to be young and enjoy yourself. But if somebody asks you if you want a scammer, a drug dealer, or a 9 to 5, and it's funny how 9 to 5 is the last of the three options. Like, that's
Yep.
the last.
Just a second.
So
For
Every
even
every
asking the question like begs a question in my head, like, where is your mental at? Because I'd have asked 9 to 5 first. You know what I'm saying? But like this
but
You're a man.
generation now, you put two bad things in front, that's the first thing they're gonna gravitate towards. Like, why you can't say 9 to 5 first? No, it's a
but
drug dealer or a scammer first.
it go that's why there's so many drug dealers and scammers, bro. For that reason.
One girl
Think
said,
about
"Tell everybody
think
I want a 9 to 5, but I really want a drug dealer."
Right.
yeah, think
Scammer,
about it.
scammer.
That's the reality for most niggas. So now, why I dream of getting a 9 to 5 if all the bitches want is a drug dealer and a scammer?
And you shouldn't want them bitches.
Again, this
And that's what you should say, but think about it. That's not how it go.
sociopath
I
and
mean,
us
because the
walking
girl, I can
around.
tell you why the girl, it's exciting. The girls want it because it's exciting, and the guys are available, and
AJ,
they
if
do
you don't mute your background. Shout out to Intellectual Soapbox on the check in, my guy.
But for the younger folk, it's exciting, and I don't think they really understand the risk and the consequences behind the lifestyle, and they don't realize that they can also get caught up in that situation.
B9 said Pookie wins, flawless victory.
And some go years, man. They live lifestyles, great lifestyles, you know, and then that door gets kicked in.
Psycho.
So,
Psycho.
you know.
And here, look, see, here's why. Because they say they want the scammers and the dealers, but look what happens.
You ain't gonna bust nothing. You ain't gonna bust shit. You ain't gonna do shit.
You're not
So
that special.
time to pop cons.
He shot at his girl.
Man.
What the fuck?
What y'all think about that?
No empathy,
That
very
that
impulsive.
ta- that's that take bitch assness to another level.
It's quite sociopath.
That was incredibly sociopathic.
Hmm. I mean, it exists. How can you love someone so much, and just because they may have behaved foolishly, disrespected your boundary, whatever, to the point where you want to delete them or just tear them up? Like, it's amazing to me that switcheroo. 'Cause I think
Was that on
I just
TikTok?
Was that a TikTok? It was.
yeah, it was gotten from there.
Shout out to
Somebody
Berto on the
posted it.
check in. What up, Berto?
Hey,
Hope all is well. But I mean, again, how do you expect a scammer, a dealer, to settle their disagreements? On their job, they settle those disagreements with bullets, with deletion. So do you expect them to come home and rise to boardroom level of disagreeing? Or do you warrant that just because you're, the dealer's girl?
Right. That's what I'm saying. They think they're special. That's why when it was done, I said, your ass ain't special.
So
You're not as special as you thought you were. A pawn.
it's funny how you get what you ask for. That's one of them sexy nights, like he said.
It's
That's sexy, right, ladies?
Absolutely. It's thrilling.
That's one of them sexy nights. I want a scammer. You walk around with a 9. What you think he gonna do with you?
He might not hit you in your head with it. I mean, you know, that's the delusion. That's the delusion created. You want something so exciting and so dangerous, but you don't think that all that will turn around on you. And it will. Say the wrong thing. Get out of the way. So.
I mean, it's really mind-boggling that we have this certain demeanor about us, whether it's grandiose, whether it's delusional, whatever the case may be, but it doesn't create a healthy psyche. It doesn't create healthy thought processes. But let's check this out. A psycho might want to work. Don't y'all think? It said that they hold long-term positions. I want to show y'all
definitely hold jobs.
Some jobs that they may have. Y'all let me know if this y'all know anybody that has these jobs and may share these personality traits. Let's go ahead and crop it up.
They're more self-controlled. They're calculated.
Make it so that we can all see it. And let's get cozy.
Weird stuff about psychopaths that you always wanted to know but were afraid to ask. Number 1 in 100 people are psychopaths, but don't worry, the majority of them go into management. 2, psychopaths are intra-predatory. That means they prey on their own species. 3, psychopaths are born. Now, not all scientists agree on this. Some say that they are born and they have the genetic marker, and if they are then born into a toxic environment, then they may become full-blown psychopaths. Others say that maybe they had a head injury when they were extremely young. 4, psychopaths. All psychopaths are narcissists, but not all narcissists are psychopaths.
Interesting comment.
And they both are.
Because I hear a lot of people throw the narcissist word around.
Always.
But can we ask some questions and go down the rabbit hole? Because you might have had a psychopath on your hands and you let him out into the world.
Mm-hmm. I'll let him out to the world.
I know you would, but you need to let us know. Instead of just saying, you know, he was a narcissist and he controlled me because he was insecure. But he might be a psychopath. His name was, let me let you know.
We need a database.
We need a database for psychopaths.
Database for these
I mean, there is a database. It's called Netflix. I think it's the thriller section.
It's running rampant though.
But these people exist. Y'all heard her say management? Y'all know anybody in management?
Oh yeah. They were quite.
They have a lot more. But what do y'all think about that management comment? Y'all think it was way off or?
I think it's spot on.
God, dude, I wouldn't say psychosis. Management is crazy.
I think it's spot on.
All right, let's keep going. Let's lean into one
That's
more.
why they didn't give me that name.
Because
Is my background still crazy? I'm sorry.
No, it was just you was dwindling with stuff.
Yeah, you was playing with your backwood pack. That's all it was.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure. All right,
Now
cool.
you Gucci Frito. Check this out.
What are the top 5 jobs of a psychopath? Because contrary to popular belief, only a tiny percentage of psychopaths end up as serial killers. The majority of them get on with their lives and hold down pretty good jobs. But what do we know about the psychopath? Well, we know that they have no empathy, that they are cold and calculating. We know that they love power and control, that they have no remorse. But what is fascinating about the psychopath is that they have no anxiety. You know, for you and I, when we go into a stressful situation, our hearts will be beating out of its chest, but not for a psychopath. They are calm under fire. So what are the top 5 jobs? Well, number 1, they make excellent lawyers. Think Harvey Specter in Suits. They take on a case and they win that case at all cost. 2, psychopaths make pretty good doctors because they have no anxiety. And you don't need anxiety when you're going to perform open heart surgery on a child. 3, they are great in the military because of this lack of empathy. They can get the job done and show no sympathy, empathy, or compassion for the enemy. 4, they're good police officers because they can control the situation when need be. And 5, psychopaths seem to gravitate towards business. They like the cut and thrust and the risk of high business. They are great CEOs. They can go on a Zoom call and fire hundreds of people and they won't even break into a sweat and it won't spoil their lunch.
They need an asthma pump.
What you think about that?
I'm just glad she ain't say chef, nigga.
Yeah, Chef is on the sociopath side.
Chef is on the sociopath side.
Yeah.
What you got this time?
She's at a lot. You know, and like again, I said, psychopath doesn't necessarily mean you got to be chopping up people.
This is true.
Right.
Carrying on. So, that was a lot of information. I believe it. I can see it when I think about just some of the positions I've had and some of the managers that I had. Oh my goodness, they were quite unique.
Right.
Big old head, quite
Yeah.
and lacked empathy. Like it was unique.
Yeah, my last boss was definitely a psycho. Well, for lie on you right in your face and then make it seem like it was your fault the whole time.
Outside. They definitely outside. Okay. Let's lean in. The link is in the chat if anybody want to come through. But what I want to do is
out the chat.
Let's lean in a little bit. Shout out to the mods for keeping the creep bot out the chat. We appreciate you. And let's do this. Y'all mute y'all microphones.
Pretty much never will become an empath because they view empathy as a disease. They view empathy as a disease. Because why? All those things that you deal with, of you having self-doubt and caring about other people, that's a lot of heavy stuff, right? So a psychopath looks at it like, why would I want to have that? To a sociopath, you want to know how they view it? They view it that it's like a chess game, and there's X amount of moves on the table that they have. They might have infinite number of moves, whereas an empath only has like 20 moves. That's how they see it. Because an empath is confined by morality, integrity, win-win. To them, there's no limit. However, what generally happens with psychopaths and narcissists is they lead to their own downfall. They actually lack discernment. They're actually some of the most vulnerable people in the world. And for many of them, the only way they can feel anything is either by winning, because they can't feel their emotions, so then they can only feel that they're winning if they beat somebody else, or they feel emotions by rage. The other one is they can feel alcohol. So they often get hooked on alcohol because they can actually feel something from that. It's actually the saddest thing in the world when somebody has that. But to them, they think they're liberated. They think they're winning. They would even hear this and be like, ha, 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 what a moron. Like they would literally view it like that. And they often take great pride and pleasure in attacking people that are very good because that's the only way they can relate to them. So they see that energy that somebody that's very good has, and because they lack it, they feel drawn to it. It's like a moth. It's like they obsess over it, and they want to kind of stalk it or like be around it, and then maybe ideally even snuff it out because they kind of want to vandalize God's architecture. They want to vandalize that. They want to snuff it out. Or they want to take that person and they want to antagonize them into being evil themselves so that they can be pulled down to their level and pull them into hell with them. So that's a big thing, is that you don't want to ever react.
What's y'all thoughts? Let's start with you, Mrs. Harris.
Protect yourself by any means necessary.
And at all times.
Goodness gracious. I mean, self-love is very important because if you have that, you'll be able to see through a lot.
True indeed.
You know, because we are all naturally, innately connected, and it's some things that you should be able to see. Get out the first class. Ooh, they out there. Pay attention to your surroundings. What you think, AJ? Goodness gracious.
That's why I stay to myself, man.
Can't be alone if
It's the safest way to be.
Build that empire. What you think, babe?
I want to know what Chef thinks. Chef, what you think?
Where you at? I'm cuddling that man.
Right here.
Chef on cuddle mode.
Nah, I'm chilling. She gone.
But no, I thought that was a unique video. Again, you know, just the differences between the lack of empathy and, you know, how I see these traits in people moving every day.
Mm-hmm.
And again, not on such a grand scale, but I do see traces that are scary because it can grow to be a bigger monster.
Mm-hmm.
And without consequences, without people pointing it out, with all the enabling and the relative talking and how everything is so subjective, you may create a psycho or a sociopath.
Everything is subjective.
What about when you get the best of both worlds? You got a sociopathic psycho on your fucking hand. Now what?
Good luck.
Right. Right. Crazy.
Okay. It's crazy, huh?
We always.
Bro,
What's wrong
what you
with
doing?
us?
What you doing? No, oh, bro. What's the hell?
I wanna kill my mom. What the? I wanna kill my dad. I wanna kill my grandma.
What the hell? You need a relax, okay? I don't care which.
Shut up.
What's going on? I don't care.
Shut up.
I bet that was a skit too, right?
What was that, a kid? Or was that like a midget person?
Can't say midget.
He's an influencer.
Little person. Didn't they put him in the studio
to
drop that?
Absolutely. And again, how do we say we don't have a little bit of psycho, a little bit of socio in us when we run up on our family and say, I'm gonna kill my mom, I'm gonna kill my dad, and they go hee 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 ha 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 ha.
I mean, he was being checked, you know. Somebody was checking him in that video, but he told him to shut up. Other people was definitely laughing. I agree with that. But somebody was trying to.
The things we celebrate in our society, and we wonder why, or we don't even talk about how sociopath and psychopaths can be walking amongst us on that every day. But if y'all don't know what happened behind that, this is what happened behind that. This our society.
He gets them V-Bucks on demand. All right.
This is what we do. And for us to create the Christian Rock or whatever her name is, throwing chairs and putting holes in people's wall, to people that say they want to kill their mom, dad, grandma, and then get a record after it, or catch me outside and get a $6 million house. We a psychopathic society. We are a sociopathic society. Forget people. We promote the craziest stuff.
Shameful. I mean, and I blame us a lot with the likes and the pushing it, and then the parents to okay it and sign, seal, and deliver that shit. It's shameful. The little kids listen to that, and it is little kids out here that are deleting their parents because of their selfish fucking needs and the delusion that they deserve this and that, and they're supposed to have this, that, and don't tell them no in bedtime. Like, that's real. I would hope your children don't come across that.
But it's an agenda. It's not coincidental. You
And
got
it's
something?
praised
You got
here in
something, Chef?
America. Another nation, stuff like that is not seen, promoted, liked, pushed, shined light on, but this is what we get.
So, was y'all able to see that whole video to the end?
Yeah,
the original video or
I
the
did
video
with the little kid?
created?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
You saw the whole thing?
I did.
All right, so for those who's listening, it was like a prank, and the kid mom did check him like, dude, this shit is not funny, and whoever put you up to it, you know what I'm saying? So his mom did stop it. However, on part two, it's like, okay, where were you when he went in the studio and put this shit together? So now, are you trying to nurture your child to be respectful and not do dumb shit? Or are you saying, okay, go get that money? Now it's okay to act like a fucking psycho. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy how when there's money involved, everything else goes out the window. So his mom, she can be labeled as a fucking psychopath too.
I mean,
they would have to, right? Because children don't have consent.
Right, exactly.
I mean, look at the child stars who grew up, their parents spent all their money
every
for
dime.
years. It's like, well, where's my money at? Come on,
Right.
we see it. So are we doing it for our children? Are they really doing it for their children? Because that is not an image that you should be promoting for young black children in any way, shape, or fucking form. I don't understand how that is okay.
Right.
And I don't care if she said in the first video, the skit, but you allowed this to continue. He's
Exactly.
made a video. It's a song. It can be heard. He's probably singing it in nightclubs or whatever. This is not okay.
Getting them
Our elders already don't get no respect. Our elders already don't get no respect.
Right.
As a black community, as a black society, from what I see. There's no more family. There's no more connection. Rarely any tradition. And if some of y'all have that out there, hold that shit dear. Because a lot of us don't have that. And keep it genuine. Keep it funky with each other as a family. That's how we grow and get better. We don't sit in our shit. But I mean, that broke my heart. I mean, sometimes I gotta sit quiet on it because it hurts to see that. That does not make me feel good. I don't think it's funny. I don't think, that young man is gonna grow up to be, a positive person in society. That's a horrible image for our child to be creating this young and promoting. And we think it's okay. Wow, shame on his fucking parents. I said it.
Let's lean in.
Been desensitizing us since we were born. And I'll give you some examples. Let's start with the big one. Let's start with words we hear all the time and never even think about. Let's start with the word entertainment. To entertain. What does that mean? To bind or hold. To bind or hold what? An audience's attention. Okay, now let's take the word Hollywood. Where does that come from? Well, Hollywood comes from the holly tree. And the ancient druids back in the day used to take the holly tree, make wands to weave spells, cast spells, or channel spells. And when they needed help, they would consult the magi's or the mediums of the day to help channel their spells to the population. We'll cut to today. What do we have in our houses? We have these black boxes. What are they called? TVs. But if you stop and you say the word television, and when you turn on that television, what do you get? What's the first thing that pops up? A list of channels. And when you turn on those channels, what's on those channels? Programming. They are programming you. They've been programming your whole life. You don't even know it. They do it with your music. They do it with your TV. They do it with your movies. They do it with your games. They have been programming us and programming you since you were little, and you don't even know it because you don't even question.
You say believe nothing and question everything.
What say you, AJ? Let's start with you.
I mean, I definitely think it's programming in the world. I mean, like, I don't know how deep that, I don't know. I can't really sit there and say, like, I've gone deep into all that, but there's definitely a hidden objective or a hidden agenda in everything that they do, especially like when there's something going on in the world, they try to deter you from something else. The main picture with little pictures. Like, it's definitely programming. Sesame Street, how your kids are so focused on like the kids shows, how like it's like they hypnotized by it. Same stuff. Everything is a little bit weird, but I don't know how deep the rabbit hole goes. So yeah.
Okay. Virus?
Mm-hmm.
What you got?
Oh yeah, it's old programming. I mean, you know, just seeing the dynamic of the change from when we grew up. You know, we kind of old. There was a time when TV turned off. You know, there was no channels. You know, if you didn't have the luxury of having, you know, I guess extended channels or cable.
Yeah,
I didn't even know cable existed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
shout out to HBO WHT.
right, you had the little switch you turned on and all of that. So it was a little different when we was growing up.
MSG and all of that.
Man, and it was programming because, you know, seasonal holidays, even now, like we're about to start watching all of the Christmas stuff. Everything is coming on 34th Street, A Miracle, and right. I mean, it's just going to be on the basic channels if you don't have even on cable shit. But, you know, it's the same stuff that comes on. You know, movies are made over and over and over. The psycho movies, the psycho killers, like you see. I mean, you know, the comedies, the romantic, like, I mean, how many cheating husbands can you see? How many of those movies can you make? You know, sleeping with the sister and the babysitter and oh my God. So we create these illusions and ideas of everything, family and relationships. Like, so we have no fucking clue, really, especially if we don't have any type of nourished tradition passed down from generation to generation to generation. And we have been so split apart, and, you know, many of us don't have that, you know, so we're all just going off of the idea, you know. We would say that coming into this, we had no freaking clue, marriage and all of that. We had to like make it up as we go, create our own blueprint of what it looked like, and it had a lot to do with kindness. You know, just that basic, genuine respect. Wow. Yeah, and the media can definitely create an image. You know, Disney, we talk about that all the time. You know, when we first got together, just having our children young and what we allowed them to watch. It was very designated. It was quite controlled, and to a degree where they were watching certain things where I would have to kind of like tell them how to watch TV because I didn't want them to believe what was happening in there, especially when they were watching shows that didn't depict families that we saw when we were watching, 20 years prior.
True indeed.
You know what I mean? So I would have to show them, like, look, there's no parents at all in a lot of these shows. You don't see any parents. These kids are like the smartest damn kids, and they just making it happen. So, when you don't have that, y'all think that y'all can just exist without us. Yeah, so it definitely creates an illusion and delusion for many kids, especially if you give it to them in abundance without giving them no model or anything other than the television. Because we grew up in a society. This is what we say: we're a society of children being raised by the television. So that's been happening the last 30 plus
Indeed.
years.
And you see the society in which we live, and the programming and the art imitating life and life imitating art.
Right.
It's all deplorable. And this is the reason.
It's what's shown. There's some good out there, but we don't get to see that. They don't, it's not depicted, it's not shined upon because,
Let's take a look.
I think Hollywood is to blame for this, because Hollywood always portrays the bad guys as psychopaths or sociopaths, don't they, who run around killing and torturing people with wild abandon. But in reality, there are some people, of course, with antisocial behavior disorder who can be violent. That goes without saying. But most are not. They tend to resort mostly to manipulation to get what they want. I suppose at worst they are ruthless serial killers, or could be anyway, but actually most blend into society without you being any the wiser that you're around one. Many are cold and calculating and use manipulation and recklessness to get promotion, for example, or to rise up through the ranks in a company. They don't care who they hurt on the way up, and believe it or not, that includes themselves. But you have to be careful. Just because you know someone who's cold, calculating, or mean and self-centered doesn't necessarily mean that they have an antisocial behavior disorder. And we do throw the word psychopath and sociopath around without regard. So we will say, if somebody, who's not particularly pleasant, they go, well, yes, he's just a psychopath. And I think we have to be careful about throwing around these words to describe people when they're not actually true.
All right. What y'all thought about that?
Gotta be careful.
He said Hollywood too.
Mm-hmm.
What y'all think?
I mean, I think everybody throws words around without actually knowing the actual definition of the meaning. You know what I mean? I feel like people just use words because other people use words and think they know what it means just because other people use it and use it wrong. Like anti-Semitic.
Well, damn. It's gonna go right there.
I'm just saying though, like, you know what I mean? If people actually looked up the definition of it, you wouldn't throw it around that much. Just like the difference between racism and bigotry. If you know the difference, you will call them the correct term. But everybody just says racist. You know what I mean? It's just, It's just education. Ignorance is bliss.
Okay. The dictionary is very important. Yes. Synonyms, antonyms.
What you got, Chef? Where you at, man?
It's great food.
Ain't got shit, man. I'm just listening.
Okay.
I'm just here for the party.
Okay. Let's turn it up a notch so Chef could join us, cause I got something now to get him going. I got something provocative. Mrs. Harris, you got something while I cook this up? Let's change the subject a little bit. Well, go ahead, Mrs. Harris. You get it in while I cook this up for you.
I was just gonna say, cooking up something myself. No, it's unique. I worked with people with developmental disabilities
You
for
did.
many years.
You did. Kudos to you.
And shout out to my folks. I love you guys. And it may have been passed down from Mom Dukes. Mom Dukes worked for Creedmoor, which was a psychiatric hospital in New York City. Most New Yorkers know about this facility. And back then, 30 years ago, it was not as organized and regulated as it is now.
Okay.
So they had everybody together. So you had some people who were just, highly abused,
Right.
And it caused them to put them in a mental state of, lack of control, impulsiveness, whatever the case may be, with real murderers.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So it was no
designated-
differentiating. They just lumped everybody together.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes, lumped everybody together. So now, it's more analyzed, I guess. They have more resources and, separating the mentally challenged from people who are harmful and,
Right.
it's unique. So we've always been in existence with each other. I think now more light has been shined on the awareness of people with developmental disabilities. Man, but social media has created quite a delusion for many of us without
That's a good. That's a
having
great
any,
point out. Because with just the era of social media, the following, the attention, like you alluded to earlier, the presentation of one's life gives one a grandiose kind of air about themselves sometimes, and a train of thought that may lead to an insensitive society when everybody is looking at each other insensitive, looking down,
like
looking up.
drinking, and I was talking about earlier today.
Right.
Just saying, the being addicted. It's an addiction now. It's an absolute addiction. First thing you do in the morning, you go to sleep, look for the likes. I mean, some people get a thrill from it. Some people it's a business motivation, whatever the case may be, promoting and things like that. But some people look for like real, innate attention.
Absolutely.
And that's scary.
All right. Let's take a look at one of everybody's favorite psychos.
Cannot joke about that.
Yeah, that's not funny, Arthur. That's not the kind of humor we do on this show.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's just, it's been a rough few weeks, Murray. Ever since I killed those 3 Wall Street guys.
Okay, I'm waiting for the punchline.
There's no punchline. It's not a joke.
You're serious, aren't you? You're telling us you killed those 3 young men on the subway?
Mm-hmm.
And
Shout out to the Joker film. That was a dope film.
Dope.
Did you guys see that film? What'd you think of that clip I just played, and what'd you think of the film overall, if you did see it?
That film was crazy.
I didn't see it.
Okay. You might want to go check that out. Go check out Joker. The second one is on its way out soon. But that was an amazing movie, and from that sit down, without spoiling it for my brother, the overall conversation is people can be a little insensitive, and like they said in the clips, some of these people are created. These sociopaths are created. Now, if they cross the threshold to become full-blood psychopaths, whole nother conversation. But we as a society have a little bit of control over the sociopaths that we create. What say you to that, Mrs. Harris?
Oh man, I mean that's ignoring the the average man. Us people on our pedestals or our egos. We go out and we treat people who we think are average or beneath us in a nasty way, in invisible way, in a dismissive way, in a I don't see you kind of way. It's okay to be rude to you and be disrespectful and all of that. Slam the door in your face. Like, I mean, this is how we are. This is how we're treating people.
Wow.
So imagine someone who feels that in abundance, like you're creating a goddamn monster. That thing is going to combust at some point. There's people who are walking around that's treated like that all the time. They were treated like that as a child. They were treated like that while they were in school, while they worked. Yeah, they're going to get somebody one day. Like, so this is why I say, we always say at the end, you know, treat somebody kind that's not you. It's okay. You would not believe how far it may go.
Right.
It may stop them from doing something to somebody.
Anybody got anything?
No.
Okay. Let's keep
walking around here hurt.
Let's keep leaning in. Just off of what the missus just said. I want to play this quick clip.
The system we live in right now really rewards sociopathic behavior. If you are willing to be harmful, if you are willing to ignore what's really true and lie to yourself about how the poors are lazy and the poors make bad life choices and that addiction is something that should be criminalized and like all of those things that look at helpless, disabled people or people without power and look down on them and look at them as being less than, that's sociopathic behavior. That is not the cooperative nature that the ecosystems of the earth require to thrive. That's like a virus with shoes. And it's super messed up because those of us who are empathetic, who are being squashed down at the bottom, are, you know, crying out for help, but we're crying out to a system that literally thinks that we're trash because we don't want to participate in being evil.
What y'all think about that? What you think, Mrs. Harris?
I mean, she's right. The system does trample on, and I think the system looks at it like, you know, be grateful because you can go back to the way it was.
Ooh.
You know, if anybody has never looked up the documentary of Willowbrook, New York City, check that out. But that was like the beginning of sending the unwanted children away. That's what people did with their children, with their special needs kids, Down syndrome children, children who they labeled mentally retarded or disfigured or deformed. They were placed, and you know, it wasn't great. Let's just say. So, you know, how many regulations have been implemented and the total inclusion that's trying to be implemented in homes and things like that. These people are being really cared for now. You know, it's a better system, so they're probably looking at it like, it could be worse.
True indeed.
So you good people who care for these people, continue to care for them. And tell on the people who don't and get them out.
Don't.
And move on.
So yeah, this is what we're talking about tonight. Sociopaths, psychopaths, which path are you on? I know you could be on a whole different path, I'm pretty sure, a righteous path, a healthy path, you know what I mean, positive path, so on and so forth. But these are the two I chose tonight. Brother Chef is coughing on the stickiest of the icky.
Stickiest of the icky.
He is not. He is not. That is a joke. He does not
participate
in that type of activity. But let's go ahead and
we do.
Yeah, we definitely do. We do all that for him. But let's not leave them snow hoes out. We got some snow hoes. Shout out to Trash Can Waves.
Say the snow
We got some
hoes.
snow
I
hoes
like
that's
that.
psycho too. Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it.
Oh my god.
Relax. Derek, relax.
Out of my car.
No one's around to see us. I almost went insane today. Having to pretend like I was concentrating on work when all I could think about was...
Lisa! Get out of my car now!
What's wrong? What did I do?
Hey. What's wrong with you when you get So what? I don't know, but let me tell you something, all right? There's nothing going on between us. Nothing, okay? I wouldn't jeopardize my job for Christ's sake. I work here. Stop! Don't touch me. Just get out. Get out. Get out! Come on!
God! Maybe you are.
Yeah, all right. Get out.
Did you see that movie, Brother Chef?
Yeah, I did see it.
Oh, man.
I bet you did.
So
That movie was wild.
right, she was a
Be in
little
there.
psycho,
A little.
creating things in her head.
Right.
Delusional.
Mm-hmm.
This is not something that I don't see a lot.
Right, right.
A lot of people create scenarios, create realities, erase realities. I see people get in a time machine, go back in time, erase that reality, and then give you the reality that they want. I've heard women stand in front of me and say, "You know, I thought I was in love back in." She really straight just went back and erased that reality right in front of my face. Told me she thought.
No, and you know you was in love. You was in love.
You were
Just
absolutely in
because
love
this
at
new
the
love
time,
feels different,
or lack thereof.
which it should,
Damn.
right?
Right.
Is it really gonna be the same?
But you know, I rarely hear fellas say, "I thought," you know.
Yeah.
But you know, looking at it now,
No, they say I used to love that dumb
that
bitch.
girl.
Either way.
Right. I just love that crazy help.
Right. Even if it wasn't right, they definitely gonna say I love
That
that
used to
stupid
be
ass,
my girl.
or cheating ass, or whatever it is. Yeah, women will be like, I thought I loved him.
Straight
He wasn't shit. I just gave him
Thanos
too much.
reality stone your
You
whole
loved him.
shit.
Don't take
Change
that
that
away.
whole
Come on, man.
Change that whole
In 3
shit.
years, 5 years, 7 years, 9 years, 10 years, 12 years. Don't take that away.
Take that shit
There
right
was
away.
good times. You was there for those years. Had to be some good times.
So, you know, that's what came to my mind when I played that.
And it's many. Fatal Attraction,
And the
The
delusion.
Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
Great. Ooh.
Ooh, y'all know
Single
about
white
that.
female.
Absolutely. It's a lot of them.
Just delusional. What you think? What you think, Chef? What you think about that movie, that clip,
My
or what we talking about?
Crazy movie, first of all. Very crazy. Yeah, she definitely had something going on in her version of reality that my man Idris just was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" type shit. Like what? You know what I mean? But he's a better man than me because I'd have fucked that crazy up. Nah, I'm just playing.
I'd have hit it.
AJ.
Maybe.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I
Go
mean, I
ahead.
was just gonna add, just that maybe that's the delusion to a lot of women. They think that just there's men that just cannot turn down.
Right.
AJ.
It's something that can't. No, let's not get it twisted. It's something
Right.
that just absolutely cannot. They're not gonna turn down the opportunity. But there's some men that will turn that shit down.
Yeah.
Okay, it's some. So don't get it twisted, ladies. Like,
He gonna say, "I'm good."
and if it's forced upon, it's the same thing as a man forcing on and graping a woman. So y'all need to stop it because it happens. Just because it gets hard does not mean that he wants to put it in you. I'm just saying.
Ooh.
So to a degree, it is kind of forced, right? Coerced. You're gonna take this.
I'm not gonna disagree with that.
I mean,
AJ, what you got, brother?
Say I tried it once, twice. I would say that to put that.
Nah, that movie was wild. Shorty was definitely crazy. I definitely agree with you, Nikki. Women definitely do grope dudes with no regard.
Yep.
And you can't really do nothing crazy because then it looks crazy on you. So I don't know.
Damn. You see how society does that? A woman can, advance on a man completely, sexually, unwarranted. He could be standing in the club. We've seen it in the club. And a woman can just advance herself on a man sexually, unwarranted. He ain't asked. He might have just been looking. Ass, titties, everything. She go all out, hands down, on the floor, all of that. That's assault. Just because he's standing there and taking it. You understand what I'm saying? But vice versa, reverse that, and let it be a man doing all of that to a woman. You don't look at shit like that. And ladies think it's okay because they think, you know, any man is going to have an opportunity to hit any vagina. So you guys need to show some more discernment out there because they acting a fool. I don't want y'all to be putting yourselves in a position to be great by women because it happens. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. You hear that a lot. But my penis was there and, you know, it was kind of forced.
I slipped. And
But it's laughed upon. I mean, we've seen it. I watched court shows and the men get laughed at when they express this. It happens. It happens more than you think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I might have led off from what you was gonna play, but it's a damn shame, man. Ladies is disrespectful with your vaginas. Consent. Get consent. It's the same way. It's the same way. But they think it's so easy because, you know, a man not supposed to say no, right? Shit is double standards.
No, it's psycho and sociopathic.
Oh my
is
God.
what it is.
Yes.
And that's
There we
exactly
go.
why. Because
Put the label
again,
on
some
it, babe.
behaviors get, you know, unnoticed
Mm-hmm.
or unannounced. But anybody looking for a new
Accepted
family
or
member?
dismissed.
Anybody looking for a new family member?
Somebody let me in their family because I guess my family just kicked me out. They mad at me because they wanted me to sing Marvin Sapp Never Would Have Made It at my little cousin's funeral. Where did he make it to? And don't say heaven, because my little cousin had the same motive as the devil. All he did all his life was steal, kill, and destroy. No, I'm not, because he didn't make it to heaven. So stop lying. So I gotta find another family. Y'all post and tell me who family I can join, because I'm out of mine.
Oh, brother.
Shout out to him.
Harris tribe got you. That's I mean, and that shows some integrity, if you ask me, if that's real and not a skit. But it shows some integrity to the family. It's like, see, you ain't do shit. You got to be kidding me. I'm not singing that. Instead of, sure, I'll do whatever the family wants. Like you said, you know, it's that dot in between them dates. 77 dot and the year ending. What happened in between there? That little dot means a lot. Shout out to that brother. He can come join the Harris tribe. We'll take him.
The reason I played that is because it speaks to a lot of families that I see. A lot of us have family members that, again, have a particular lifestyle. But when it's time to sum it all up in words, we lie. Sociopathic, psychopathic, damn sure ain't the truth. Like he said, my cousin did everything but good.
Right.
How you got me wanting to, but isn't this our families? We got so many molesters, so many grapists, so many dealers, killers, wheelers, pimps,
Scammers,
prostitutes.
couple of numbers.
We can't judge them.
He hauls it.
Absolutely not.
Skips
I mean, this society tells you got to.
Nonetheless,
You got
it
to
don't
find a way.
change the fact.
And every way ain't gonna be legal.
So, what we doing really? Let's talk about it.
Scratching and surviving.
Good times.
I mean, that's what we doing. Everything is up except the pay.
And again, you know, the only reason I wanted to have this conversation is because on a small scale, we disowning family, looking for new family, and can just do it at the drop of a hat. Anybody got a new family, even if it was a joke? That's anybody
It's
looking for a new
disheartening.
family member, and we can just articulate it like that, like it's up.
I mean, and then we can just cast family out for something as simple as that. I don't want to sing a particular song at a funeral. You know, my integrity says, yeah, no, I'd rather say something about this young man. So our younger group, our younger kids coming up behind him will see, yeah, you see what this lifestyle will get you? A short life. You know what I mean? Versus kicking him out the family, we're just so easy to dismiss and you know, break apart our families. It's easy. Because my selflessness, it means more than anything else.
Chef, what you got?
Nothing. I'm just listening.
AJ?
We appreciate your company.
Man, that's wild. I mean, even if that was a skit, that's wild. But that's how family operate, though. A family is not really family these days. You know what I mean? Like it's survival of the fittest for the most part, and it's crazy. It's crazy. Your family be your family today, and then you do something that they don't like, and now you the op.
You the op.
Mm-hmm. Now you the op.
Let's keep leaning, AJ.
You're not.
Get the fuck out my house! Are you serious? Get that shit out of my house! Are you fucking crazy?
How many of us know that house?
Yeah, I was gonna say if anybody didn't notice what was on that plate, there was some crack rock.
dried up mashed potatoes, Chris. Plate with the dried up mashed potatoes, Chris.
I know that house. I know that house. I know a house where mama said, get that shit out my house. And the reply is, what you talking about?
What you talking about,
Nigga,
bro?
are you a psycho? How about all the drugs and the guns and the money and the dope? That is what I'm talking about.
What's wrong? Oh my goodness. Right,
But
why
I
are you
know
mad?
a lot of fellas that'll be like, yo, my mama kicked me out the house. She got some nerve to kick me out her house.
What'd she kick you out for?
Cause man, I had some crack and some guns up in there, and I was getting it in, bubbling hard.
Oh man.
Or you want to go to the other side of the spectrum? How many mothers are helping spend the money?
Oh, well, nigga, where my cut? You keeping that in here? You keeping that
This
in
is
here?
all just saying, huh?
Wait. You keeping that in here? Where my cut? You can't keep that in here without my cut. And tell so and so he need to
Give
and
you
make
more
sure mommy
so
get that off top.
Damn. See?
I ain't a part of that. I need my shit separate.
That's sociopathic. And then when the police come knock and be like, I don't know what he was doing. Doing what? I don't know. AJ, that shit is cruel.
I don't go in there. He keep his door locked.
That shit cruel.
Or why you here?
But it only happened in my neighborhood, right? I'm the only one tough enough to say it happened in his neighborhood. It don't happen in none of y'all neighborhood. I ain't talking about nobody up here on the panel, just me.
No. Me, no.
I was the only one walking around a neighborhood full of rapists, murderers, dealers, killers, pimps.
I would just go somewhere and hang out and police are kicking doors. So it's like, wait, what's going on here?
Police walk up on me and tell me, we pulling you over because you live in a drug-infested neighborhood.
Right.
Nigga, this is where I live. Where else I'm supposed to be?
I'm looking for a parking space for 2 hours.
Am I way off, y'all? Or
No,
what, am I way
What
off?
a life. I mean, city. I wouldn't say so.
I wouldn't either.
No.
Some sociopath, psychopath, borderline, little bit, on the way, on the verge. If you keep on ignoring what they do, they gonna be one. I wish I would. What you doing, man? Look a little flaky over there. And it ain't just regular people either. You think it's just regular people I'm talking about? I might move. Was thinking about moving. You know why I'm thinking about moving, Chef? Check out why I'm thinking about moving, y'all. Check this out.
The first law of its kind, citizens allowed to shoot police officers who trespass illegally.
Fox News senior judicial analyst Judge Andrew Napolitano is here to break down the new rule. All right, this is going to take place in Indiana.
It is.
What is it?
Well, it's a law that allows people who lawfully own weapons to use those weapons against the police when the police are behaving illegally. For example, police attempting to arrest someone without an arrest warrant, police entering property without a search warrant, police coming into the wrong property, or police actually committing a crime. Now, this was generated by a horrific case in Indiana where the police broke down the wrong door and arrested the wrong person, and he kept trying to say to me, I'm not the guy you want, it's next door, and the more he resisted, the more they pummeled him.
That sounds like the Texas law.
Texas also has a statute that if, for example, they're after Brian Kilmeade, but they arrest Steve Ducey, and he goes, I'm Ducey, I'm not Kilmeade.
Easy to confuse the two.
Easy to confuse the two. Ducey can, in Texas, Ducey can use force to resist
because
the police.
I'm not the guy you came to get.
Correct.
I'm confused. So if the cops break down your house and you know that you've done nothing wrong, you can shoot them?
Yes. In the state of Indiana, yes. Well,
what if they have a warrant? If they have a warrant.
If they have a warrant, you cannot. So, look, the burden is on you to do the right thing. If you're not sure whether or not they have the warrant, obviously you can't use the weapon. You can't use the weapon to escape from lawful confinement. You can't use the weapon to initiate a crime. You can't initiate the confrontation
There's a lot of small print here.
with the police.
Yeah. Where did this come from?
Well, this was enacted by the legislature and signed by Governor Mitch Daniels.
But why?
Because of this case in Indiana that received tremendous publicity where the police went to the wrong house and beat up the wrong person, and he attempted to resist, and then he sued the police, and he lost the lawsuit.
Isn't there a big leap from that to being able to shoot the police?
Well, as we were talking earlier, the state of Texas has had a statute where you can shoot the police, and people generally don't do it, because the police are a little bit more careful, right, because they know the homeowner may be legally armed as they are.
That's interesting. So where do you fall on this?
I'm in favor of the statute. I think it will lessen the tension between police and law-abiding citizens, and the example is Texas.
Let's just hope more cops don't get shot.
Correct. Nobody wants anybody to get shot, but nobody wants the police to break down the wrong door or to commit crime in the name of being a police officer.
Right. And
okay.
Damn.
Mrs. Harris.
Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, I mean, I approve of it all. Shit.
Of it all?
Yeah, man.
Damn.
Yeah, don't run up in my house and you in the wrong house.
Right.
Like, so even if you have a warrant, if that warrant doesn't have my name on it,
right,
or anybody in my house
I
is
told you
I'm
AJ.
giving you one.
I am not AJ. I repeat, I am not AJ. They kept on coming.
I mean, and at this point, I think that guard is up already. I hope they need to do that anyway, because they don't trust nobody.
Damn. AJ, what you think?
Shit.
Y'all crazy.
Protect yourself by any means.
Blasting on the police.
I'll take my
I don't know. I don't know if I want to go to war with the police, man.
He said you be done with the police in Indiana.
I'll be in the newspaper for protecting myself and my family, and I'm like,
Hey, I'm all for protecting my family, but I ain't about to be busting at no police, man. They got more guns than me.
That is bad.
I mean, you might be more skilled and more witty than them, knowing your own house. I'm just saying, to a degree.
To a degree.
You don't know where it's at.
Man, let's bring Chef back. I see he's back. Let's get him back up here nice.
Man.
Hold up.
But they do that a lot more often than you think, running up in the wrong person's house and assaulting and disrespecting and all of it, infringing upon.
A lot of lives got lost by running in the wrong person's house.
Absolutely.
Mistaken identity, and again, somebody proclaiming that they're not the party that you're looking for, and you still persist. It has to be some sort of a course correct for that.
So them just implementing this will at least put second thoughts in the officers' minds when they're doing these things.
We would hope.
All right.
Wouldn't we?
I mean, we know it just gives us an extra, confidence, that we are our own advocates and the protectors of self. So I have that right by any means necessary.
You heard what the news reporter said. I hope no more cops get shot.
Right. We ain't worried about
I hope nobody gets shot. How about nobody gets shot? Nobody. No humans.
How about you guys should do your investigation? It's on you to do the proper investigating and vetting of where you're going to run up in. Not the
I am a
person-
fan of everybody having guns, though.
Okay.
Just not a fan of shooting the cop. I mean, like if I'm protecting myself I think any human is a human, but like if I'm just out here and I know it's a cop and I'm just like, oh no, you got the wrong person and I'm about to bust at you, nah, I ain't about But nah, I feel like Texas has a lower crime rate because you don't know if that other person has a gun or not. That person you robbing has a gun or not. So I mean I think there's nothing wrong with that at all.
I think it gives us a power as Samaritans, because if you feel like the police are breaking the law, you have a right. Not to say you want to, delete them, but you have a right to intervene, to take the matters into your own hands if you feel confident enough. Because some of us are pretty damn skilled, and when you know something is wrong, and you're able to put a stop to it, it gives you more of a right and a confidence to feel as though you can step in. Because the shit is wrong. Versus all of us do nothing. We just stand around with our phones. Why are you doing that? Man, get off his neck. Get off his neck. Get off it. Come on. Handcuff the nigga and let him lay on the ground. I'm confused. Why we got to do all that? He's just Superman now? Because, you know what I mean? He's just going to backflip and I don't know. It's just amazing. We're magical. I agree. But damn.
Anybody got anything before I move on?
Nah, man. I mean, like, you see the videos, the places where everybody got guns. You got moms pulling guns out their purse, busting their carjackers. Like, it's real. Like,
stop carjacking.
I mean, that dude ain't gonna carjack no more. I'll tell you that. It was my mom was busting at him too. Like, yeah, nah, you ain't about to be stealing from me, sir. You stole from the wrong person today.
And that's the reality.
And again, this is, like I was saying earlier, that some occupations, some lifestyles come with deletion at the end of the day, whether it's you deleting somebody deleting you. But in order for us to want to company with these people, these are the people we choose to live life with. That says something about our mentality. When we got young ladies saying they want to be with drug dealers and scammers, at the end of the day, it's a little scary to know that this is the mindset of people. They're a little imbalanced. There's a little bit of mental disorder going on. Did y'all see the definitions I put up? A person with a personality disorder manifesting itself in extreme antisocial attitudes and behavior and lack of conscience.
That's half the people I know.
That's my point.
That's half the people I know. Half I grew up with. Shit.
I'm
half
be
I
honest.
went to the funeral.
And again, if we can look at this and self-correct, if we can look at this and just, incorporate ways into our behaviors and our character to not be more sociopathic or psychopathic, I think that's a good thing. But let's lean in while the missus come back.
Another warning, this is a tough to listen to. It's a 17-year-old boy who passed away following a 911 call for help. The dispatcher hung up on the caller. The boy had been wounded during a drive-by shooting. As he lay there in distress, dying. A frantic woman who apparently knew the teen calls 911, tries to communicate to the dispatcher what's going on, what help she needs. She's obviously distressed, excited. Who wouldn't be? Listen to this.
I'm keeping him alive. Okay, is he not breathing? Barely. Hey, one of us. Okay. One of us. There you go, Danny. One of us. Yes. There you go, Danny. Good job. Just stay with me, okay? Okay? There you go. Good job, Danny. Is he breathing? He's barely breathing. How many times did the tell you? Okay, you know what, ma'am? You could deal with yourself. I'm not going to deal with this, okay? No, I can't.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
That's normal?
Fired.
That's normal behavior?
Fired.
He need to go to jail.
Yeah.
There was definitely an investigation. There was definitely an investigation. I believe the ending result was administrative leave.
Get the fuck out of here. He need to be behind bars.
Wow.
But again, that's normal behavior of a normal, sane person,
That
or
has that
more
type
on the
of job.
sociopathic, psychopathic range. Which one does it lean more towards, y'all?
I would say socio, just like in the
Yeah, just a lack of it.
yeah. I mean, for it to be your job, it's amazing.
Right. If anybody's supposed to
Impulsive.
be empathetic and polite and try to keep people calm, it's the 911 dispatcher.
Right, right.
Like,
That's literally your job.
Hey, was you
Right.
having a day? You gotta suck that up. Some jobs you cannot take your shit into your job.
Right.
Most jobs you can't, but some professions, yeah, you gotta leave that shit at the door, and it's hard for people to do that.
And he's on administrative leave, so he's still getting paid.
Yep.
He's still getting the check.
And did the young man lose his life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's more than a sociopath.
In jail. He needs to be like fucking involuntary manslaughter should be the charge. Do that 10 years, homeboy. Because had you not hung up that phone, who knows what would have happened. But the
He
fact
shouldn't
that
be.
you hung up, now she's all crazy, frantic, trying to call another dispatcher. Bruh. Yeah, his ass.
The next question should have been, where are you located?
Right.
Where are you at? Like, you still asking if he's breathing. You can hear the franticness. And you're 911. People calling, they're frantic.
People with antisocial personality disorder tend to antagonize, manipulate, or treat others harshly or with callous indifference. They show no guilt or remorse for their behavior. He went to sleep later on that night, clocked out, went home, washed up, ate dinner, Netflix real quick.
Yeah. Some people could do some horrible shit, go home, just go to sleep.
And probably watch the news clip of him hanging up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have did that. That's when it sinked into him. Maybe I should.
No, she shouldn't curse at me. Her tone.
Right. Well, she shouldn't have cursed at me. What? Like, bro, dude sitting there bleeding to death, literally. And you think about yourself. That's definitely narcissistic behavior, sociopathic, psychopathic, any other pathic you could think of. It's
I know that's right. I like that.
Are we not evaluating the employees well enough as well?
Right.
And that's a position in our society. A 911 operator, that's a position.
Because even if you don't know how to do it, you have to talk someone through CPR, Heimlich maneuver possibly. Like, it's things that you have to talk people through. You have to stay calm. It's been many movies watching that. I think I've had one friend who worked in a 911 fire department. My nephew did 911 for a little bit too, right? Hawaii?
Attempted to. But wasn't my cup of tea.
Not you. Nephew.
Sean.
Yes.
But let's continue to lean in. AJ, I know you thought that was an anomaly, but it wasn't.
To lie on an official report and said they searched for 2 black children and never did. Never did. But the firefighters, they weren't fired. for manipulating an official document, lying about their duty and oath to protect and rescue. Let's put up the picture of the family, okay? You see the 2 black children? They're dead. They're dead. Firefighters, 2 of them lied on the same report and said, oh, we did everything we could. We went inside, we did a sweep of the apartment. They did nothing, not a damn thing. Guess what? They are being protected, but I'm going to expose every single one of them. Keep that picture up. You're looking at Crystal Cooper. She's in the center. She's grieving the loss of her 2 sons, Sierra Mitchell and Lamar Mitchell, 12 and 9 respectively.
These lives we talking about, y'all.
Right.
These are professionals.
It's their duty.
Watching lives go. This is normal behavior?
Or being picky with what lives you save and don't.
This is atrocious. To know we live in a society filled with sociopaths and psychopaths. And again, not on a grand scale. And this program is for us to self-correct, self-reflect, and alleviate ourselves of these characteristics if we have any.
Right.
But this insensitivity, and again, our shame and our harsh rhetoric is completely from love and abundance. It's not lack of sense of sensitivity.
Judgment.
It's not lack of awareness that it creates feelings in other people. But at the same time, a realistic conversation has to happen, or else we get sociopathic people. We get psychopathic people that exhibit psychopathic traits. What kind of people are those, you would say? I would say, great question.
Baby mamas after the club.
You just gonna come to my house and fuck me and come all in my mouth and you're not gonna fucking answer the fucking phone? Not bitch. I swear to God. Oh, I swear to God. Hello. Don't you fucking hang up again. Because if you hang up, I'm gonna bust all your motherfucking windows out. I'm gonna break your mom's fucking door because you got me fucked up, nigga. You got me fucked up. Why you playing with my fucking heart like this? Why you playing with me like this? No, because you really said that you was gonna sit here and feel me. Bitch, is you fucking
She was emotional.
Oh man, no, she had a few personalities in there. It was crazy. And it just cut it off that quick.
You see that? She went from wanting to make love.
Come in my mouth. Wow.
She wanted to make love first. Then she said, I'm gonna bust all your windows and your tires and your mom's stuff. Then she went to pure passion, love. Why you playing with my heart?
That's the excitement.
And then she cried till she seen she was being taped. Then
Right.
she immediately started crying and went to anger and was, I guess, about to fight.
Probably beat up.
Part 2. What'd you think about that? That was a lot.
Man, that was a lot. Oh my God. Sorry, gentlemen.
Ooh, we got bots.
Got any bots in your place?
One of the mods.
Man, it's really women like that, bro.
Come on, AJ.
I see it at the club. When I used to do security, I see it at the club all the time. It's really women like that.
Yeah, I've seen it in the bathroom. Yes,
oh my gosh, it is really bad. And all you can do is pray for the guys. It's like, because y'all stand with that shit. Y'all like that toxic shit, don't you? And I just laugh at them like, yo, y'all weird.
Shout out to the missus. She caught some video footage of the bathroom activity. We went out one weekend and she got bathroom activity, and it sounded bad.
Oh, you hear the sound? It's, oh my goodness. Yeah, they was ratchet as hell.
Sis said this needs to stop. It's
Yeah.
psychopathic and sociopathic, sis, and that's why we see so much. It's embedded in a lot of their character. It's the way they get people to respond to them.
Right. Ladies, let's stop mistaking sex for love. Please. You gave me all this good sex and oh my God.
And this is why we're gonna see this, because people with antisocial personality disorders tend to antagonize. She did that. Manipulate.
And it might not even be good. Just want to control. Just want to control the dynamic.
Or treat others harshly or with callous indifference. They show no guilt or remorse for their behaviors.
It's fuck or flight. Or fight, not flight. Fuck or fight. It's a lot of mentality out there. It's the same energy.
And it's scary to see. And I see it in different spots, instances, and different personalities. And
that bathroom scenario is a very common scenario. Even if she ain't talking about slashing, but just the whole dynamic. Like, why are you out there? Why you ain't planning to meet up? Why you even out? Because it's usually the person on the other end. I said, well, why the fuck are you even out? You with this bitch or that bitch? Like, it's always something. So I'm a little confused. Oh, man. Sex does not mean love.
y'all let me know what y'all think in the chat. Let me crop this up. I want to know what you think about this.
Crop it up.
Check this out, y'all. More examples of the different personalities that we have in our society and that we come across. And let's go ahead and
open it up.
Get it nice and good for you. All right. This is how that's nice. I like that.
Put the tongue.
With a guy, yeah, just for a meal. I mean, the guy, I knew what his intentions were, but for me, it was never going past friendship because I wasn't attracted to him.
Thought, yeah, let me use man for a free meal because I just want to eat.
Yeah, after work.
That's deep. Fam.
Never saw it past anything being a friendship. You're a cool guy, but me and you will never ever be like that.
Did you express that to him? Like, we are not going anywhere past a friendship. Yeah, we can go out and eat.
No, I didn't. But
why?
So what?
Oh, so basically, you let him believe that, okay, boom, there's an opportunity, there's a chance, but in your head, you know, there is no chance, bruv. Like, you're not going anywhere with me.
Yeah, I didn't.
So basically, you used him.
Yeah, I did.
Manipulation at its worst.
They show no guilt or remorse for their behavior.
No guilt.
I thought that was just woman culture right there. Don't everybody got a fool man in their phone?
Okay. So it's okay to just use people for a free meal. Just use people.
Come on, man.
AJ, well, I've never.
He rolls for that, baby.
I mean, not when it's a thing, you know. It's not okay. You guys are more than just a meal in somebody's phone. You shouldn't acquiesce to these women for that. You know what I mean?
Dudes would do anything. Some guys would do anything and everything.
It's true.
Just to get a little bit.
But I'm gonna be honest with you, AJ. It's not our fault, and it's not our job. You wanna know why? Mrs. Harris?
know how to stand up to a man who's unfairly trespassing against me. And the reason I know that is because the parameters for my resistance are quite well defined, which is we talk, we argue, we push, and then it becomes physical, right? Like if we move beyond the boundaries of civil discourse, we know what the next step is. Okay, that's forbidden in discourse with women. And so I don't think that men can control crazy women. When men are talking to each other in any serious manner, that underlying threat of physicality is always there, especially if it's a real conversation, and it keeps the thing civilized to some degree. You know, if you're talking to a man who wouldn't fight with you under any circumstances whatsoever, then you're talking to someone to whom you have absolutely no respect. Like, it seems to me that it isn't men that have to stand up and say enough of this, even though that is what they should do. It seems to me that it's sane women who have to stand up against their crazy sisters and say, look, enough of that, enough man-hating, enough pathology, enough bringing disgrace on us as a gender. But the problem there is that most of the women I know who are sane are busy doing sane things, right? They're off, they have their career, they have their family, they're quite occupied, and they don't seem to have the time or maybe even the interest to go after their crazy harpy sisters. And so I don't see any regulating force for that terrible femininity. And it seems to me to be invading the culture and undermining the masculine power of the culture in a way that's, I think, fatal.
Yeah, so that clip was, speaking to how us as men, we know how to behave with each other because the consequences at the end are physical. But when you interject women into that recipe, it gets different. Right. So men will never be able to correct women. It's up to sane women to correct the crazy women, but sane women are too busy doing sane women things.
Right.
What say you, Mrs. Harris?
I mean, it's a small few. You know, I give much love to my old white sister Jane.
Okay.
Jane Elliott.
Shout out to Jane Elliott.
She's been looking for someone to replace her, but she needs to be of the hue that she is to, bring forth her point the same way.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm here every Sunday. I think I've always been an advocate for the men.
Shout out to you.
I know y'all's worth and I value it, and it doesn't diminish my worth and my value. And I respect that. I think that's the problem with femininity. They want to be superior, and have no respect for the masculinity of men. And that's the disaster. It's going to be a downfall because it seems like women take a man's masculinity as a threat. And that's a weird world for me. Because it hasn't been a threat for me personally. I know a lot of women have dealt with some stuff personally, so they have that mindset, but I don't. So I'm in for the fight. I don't mind being one of them women to talk to you crazy bitches because it's getting out of control. And it's gonna come a day where the men are gonna get tired, and you're gonna get knocked out. Like it's gonna happen. So tame your shit, calm down, and all that is unnecessary. Man doesn't need to. You don't need to entertain that type of discourse with a man, especially if it's a man you don't know.
Absolutely.
I would tame that shit down just a little bit, because a lot of them are not taking it.
AJ, what you got?
Man. The whole hitting dudes got thing stuff is wild. I only got hit one time in my life, and then she saw my face and said, "I'll never do that again." But I don't like that. It's toxic. And women these days that's just how women are these days. And it's a lot of good women out there that try to correct people, but then they get attacked, or they get labeled as a pick me type female, or something like that. Because, everybody trying to be hot girls and everybody trying to be, you know, this super empowered, and it's cool. I mean, I feel like you should have confidence in yourself and everything like that, but I feel like it should be some type of dignity, some type of honor, some type of respect, not, oh, it's me, and if you don't respect me, or if you try to change me, then you're the op, and I'm gonna disrespect you and
Yeah, you're
as
a
much as
op,
I
boy.
can.
You're a op.
You the op. Listen, I mean, come on, bro. You get labeled as a cornball or whatever if you try to say anything that goes against the culture. Like, come on, like you can say that you don't like makeup, and they be like, "Oh, we're not doing that shit for you." Okay, well, excuse me, man. I'm just giving you my opinion. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's a, I don't know, the way women are these days. I love the confidence that every woman has in their bodies, and some of them have in their bodies, because a lot of people don't have no confidence or self respect in themselves, which is why being BBLs is so important now. Which, like, I don't understand. You could just go take your ass to the gym and you'll be all right. But
No, it's not quick enough. The instant
yeah,
gratification.
that shit is weird. It's weird. Everything is weird. That's why I stay in my little bubble.
Okay.
I mean,
Shout out to the
media,
bubble states.
media, man, reality, media, TV, like it has a lot to do with a lot.
I heard them say
A lot.
Hollywood definitely,
I mean,
paints a narrative, sets a trajectory.
it's not
And
new.
I alluded to, the people we make famous, whether it be I'm gonna kill my mom and dad, or catch me outside, or, you a munch,
Mm.
or something different. Mrs. Harris.
Shame. Was she promoting drugging men and stuff with a big pregnant belly
She
with
dropped
another
something in
baby
his drink.
in the hand
That's criminal activity in itself.
in the corner store? This is an image. I mean, it has a video. That's a video of an image of our black sisters. Like, this is what we putting out. This is what we promoting. This is what's cute. This is what y'all rocking in the car with y'all kids. Wow. Shame. I feel mad shame right now because they're gonna group me with these bitches, and wow. No, we're all not grouped. We don't believe in that.
And for me, y'all, I think it's borderline sociopath behavior, because if that's the way she acts, right? She dropped perks in his drink. She, holds cups in her hand while she's pregnant, acting all cantankerous. And then she's dating a scammer. He's moving credit cards or moving weight in the day. That's a unique couple. And again, they have such a lifestyle. It's hard for them to be normal.
And it's not just designated to us. I'm just saying. This is
Absolutely
what we get
not.
to shine.
Absolutely
we
not.
get
No,
our brown skins get.
I have
first
brown
treatment.
skin.
Well, we know.
So I'm going to
yes.
allude to that.
Yes.
I could give a damn about what the other side is doing, because I know how they feel about me already.
Right.
Again, these are the narratives that we specifically, consciously try to break. Consciously. Many times in our rhetoric, we say it's a conscious decision.
Right.
Being together, being a family, being black in America, and look at what a sociopath lacks. Lacks conscience. And when you got murder on your mind, damn. When you dropping perks in a drink, that is unique to me.
And premeditated murder. I mean, deletion. You're popping them Plan Bs, right?
You throwing chairs to put holes in
Consider
people's
it the
walls.
same thing.
It's unique to me. No remorse. No empathy.
It's a sad day.
You know what? Let me, can I fix that?
I say, can I kick it?
Can I get my man to fix it? Can I get my dad to fix it? But that's not the only type of behavior. It's more. Let's go back to the movie theater.
Kitty, I think they say Tiara's passed out somewhere. Can you go check on her for me? Yeah. Because I want to make sure she's good. I don't want her to come with Jamaica and nothing happen to her. Want me to go check on her? Please. Yeah. Because I don't want nothing to happen to you. Yeah, because because with the Jamaica, I don't want you to come here and then nothing happen to her. So I want to make sure she's good. Where's the fish? I know. Where's all the fish?
Oh look, she's coming back. I think she's better.
There she is.
Have you been struggling with your sobriety?
I haven't been. I have not been struggling at all with my sobriety. I've been good. At the end of the day, I'm a grown-ass woman. I can have drinks if I want to. Choosing a drink today was me being on vacation in Jamaica, this beautiful place. Everybody else is enjoying themselves. And I just didn't want to sit to the side. You gotta take your shoes off. Okay. Oh, it's so warm. It's warm. Oh my God.
I mean, when your ass is unbalanced, you will tumble over.
Just gonna say it like that.
That's all I saw.
Your thighs don't match.
Come on now. You're not gonna ask me to ignore the reality of my perception. We're not gonna fucking do that.
She filling your head with he said, she said.
This is not where I'm at. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, legs don't match her ass. It looks horrible now, sis. Like, I don't know.
The reason I played that was Tiara Marie, her drinking. You guys heard that whole clip. Should I go get her? I'm going over there.
Right.
She comes over. You got any problems with your sobriety? No, not at all. Not at all. Oh, I'm on vacation. I'm in Jamaica. If I want to drink, I'm a grown woman. Yada, yada, yada. I don't give a F. That's all I hear. I don't give a F.
Right.
All I hear is that modern women talk.
Right.
But again, the delusion. Everybody knows that when you're dealing with sobriety, every day is a conscious decision.
Every hour.
There is no, everybody else was drinking, so I'm not just gonna sit on the side. That's one of the main characteristics of being an alcoholic, is if you need alcohol to have fun.
And the rules are not the same for you.
How many women say, yo,
sense.
Tiara, you shouldn't be doing that. You know you're struggling with your sobriety, but that's the type of accountability women don't hold other women in other countries.
No.
They don't do that shit in other countries.
No, they just asked if she was. And, not gonna say, come on, we won't drink with you. If that's what you need. No, you gotta take that.
Yeah.
Everybody
And if
else
something
ain't
happens to you, they're
sobriety.
leaving your ass right there and getting on the plane and bringing their ass back home. That ain't no stretch. I ain't reaching. What you think about that, AJ? She ain't even pay 50 Cent his money, but she drinking still. Don't get me started.
Man. Well, she an alcoholic. She went to the, and the thing, and the thing is, it's like, I'm not gonna say just women, but a lot of people have a real big problem with accountability. Like, I just made a post I just put a post up the other day. Accountability is a superpower a lot of people neglect to try to get.
Okay.
They don't want that kryptonite.
So to him, AJ.
Nah, I mean, like for real though, man. I mean, cause like in every situation and every detriment, whatever trial, tribulation that you've been through, you played a part in it. And if you realize that you played a part in it, you can figure out how not to get in that situation again. But a lot of people was like, all right, well, it's everybody else's fault, and everybody else was having fun, so why can't I have fun? Or it was, oh well, it was this person's fault, or it was that person's fault, or I got mad because they did this or they did that. And like, bro, if you controlled your emotions, then you wouldn't be in the situation. If you had control of your whatever, you wouldn't be in the situation. But nobody wants to hear that, and that's the problem.
True indeed, God, true indeed.
Yep, because I can do what I want.
I would
Don't worry about the
not disagree with that
consequences.
statement. What do you think about the clip I played, Tiara and all of that, Mrs. Harris?
I mean, you heard what I said. It's a unique situation because they've been on for a long time. So imagine the young people who have been coming up watching these shows, aspiring to be like these young women, and I don't agree because I don't know if these women know who they are.
Right.
Some of them have children. Like y'all are on these shows. This is how are you famous? Like, do you really think that you are doing something good by creating this image? But this is who they are. So it's really people living like this.
Mm-hmm.
And our young folk are aspiring to this lifestyle. We're not knowing what goes on behind it. And it's a lot of bullshit and cantankerousness and fake delusion. And it continues because the women look crazy. In my opinion.
Indeed. I agree with you both. I see this trait more in women. I absolutely understand what AJ is saying. Accountability is definitely like kryptonite. People will fall at the feet of it. But, men, we have a certain level of accountability we have to have. And although I do know that there are some inadequate leaders, there are some Pookies and Ray Rays out there. But again, we don't speak to them. We speak to the aspiring, to the ones that want to do a little bit more. And I just had a couple of videos I wanted to share with y'all. I got a couple more fun ones just to break the monotony. Let's start with some current events. I want to know what you guys think about this. Let's bring this up. Let's do this. Let's put them in the movie theater. Prop it up. So get Mrs. Harris in trouble.
Claim.
She's a troublemaker.
Yeah, but to speak on the last with those reality folks again, you've been watching them. They've been on for a long time. The one thing I say about the men, they're docile, like the grandfathers were. Even when I look at them on the shows, it might be one or two that may step up and hold the young ladies accountable, for their shit. But the majority of them, they'll sit back. They'll hold their hair while they fighting.
She crazy.
So, just think, you have the men seeing this visual as well. Even if they didn't grow up in homes like that, they think that these behaviors are okay. This
and even
argumentative, batted,
to women
just
like
nasty ass attitude. I get what I want, and if you don't like it, leave. Kind of mentality is okay.
Yeah, grandfathers don't have nobody's back, man, but their daughters. And that's just what it is, man. It ain't no right, wrong, or indifferent. Like I have a situation where my like it just do whatever, let her do whatever, and it's just like, oh, women crazy, but she your daughter, bro. Like, what the fuck?
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, that's what I noticed when Scrappy, even confronted his moms. Wasn't that what's the one, the dark skinned one that have babies everywhere?
I don't know.
What's his name's boyfriend? The girl. Oh my goodness.
Tara's boyfriend.
Whatever. But he said, your mama crazy. That's what he said.
Right.
While Scrappy's trying to give his mother all of that truth and all of that conversation, it's like, your mama crazy.
Right. Just excusing it. Just dismiss it.
And, like
Dismiss
AJ
it.
said, sometimes this is definitely the mechanism that we use to excuse behavior. But if we don't, it looks like this.
Susan Hussey, where are you from? Miss Fulani, sister space. No, where do you come from? We're based in Hackney. No, what part of Africa are you from? I don't know. They didn't leave any records. Lady Hussey went on. No, but what nationality are you? I am born here and am British. No, but where do you really come from? Where do your people come from? My people, lady. What is this? Lady Hussey, oh, I can see I'm going to have a challenge getting you to say where you're from. When did you first come here? Miss Fulani, lady, I am a British national. My parents came here in the 50s. Oh, I knew we'd get there in the end. You're Caribbean. No, lady, I am of African heritage, Caribbean descent, and British nationality. Another guest at the reception heard the exchange.
It made us feel like perhaps we're not welcome, perhaps we don't belong here. And you can be pretty sure that a white woman wouldn't have been on the receiving end of a line of questioning like that.
Thoughts?
Why don't we question them? Where you from? Oh, I'm from New Jersey.
Where you really from?
No, where you really from? New Jersey. What part of? No, not New Jersey. Where your people from? Because it can be done the same way. You know what I mean? I get it. Because we definitely experienced that firsthand, off top. Where you from? And don't let you say African American. What part of Africa are you from? In a Caucasian society and environment, saying black that's what they get. Black, Negro, that's here. But when you say African American, they assume that you are from Africa and you came here, directly, like you weren't born here. That's how they put that together.
What you got,
So it's
AJ?
unique.
Man, that's I mean, corporate America all the time.
That was the British Palace, though. Again, let's
So the
lean
British
in.
Palace don't think that black people are born in British, like their nationality is not.
It's unbelievable.
Right. I mean, they
How
want to
we
dig
have
as
to
deep what part of that, because you have to be from
justify
some
our
part.
existence. I say this
Right,
many
justify.
weeks that
Yeah,
we
oh,
always
yes,
have
you
to
always
justify that we exist. But let's lean in before we unpack for real.
It started like any other royal reception. But this one ended with a resignation over racism.
This lady came from nowhere, automatically took my hair and moved it so she could see my name badge, and then she demanded to know where I was from. No, really, where I was from. No, where I was really from. And no matter how many times I answered her, it wasn't the response she wanted.
We now know that individual is Lady Susan Hussey, godmother to Prince William and lady-in-waiting to the late Queen. Buckingham Palace say Lady Hussey is sorry for the hurt caused.
When you go into Buckingham Palace, you're searched, quite rightly, to protect the people that are in there. But then I asked myself, what protection was there for me against this kind of racism?
Questions about racist attitudes at Buckingham Palace have been raised before. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex spoke out last year, before breaking away from their official roles within the royal family. What happened here last night, in public, raises new questions about what is being said privately, in an institution that is meant to reflect Britain at its best.
What's your thoughts?
Is this the same?
It's the same thing that happens everywhere else, man. The things that happen behind closed doors that nobody want to talk about.
Yes, AJ.
You're not lying, sir.
Come on, bro. You finding out that all these people are racist. Come on, bro. It's like the guy that did Timberland said, I don't like black people wearing my shit, but still black people wearing that shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is a whole lot of different crazy shit. And it's like email Jerry Jones was just came out, and they had a thing where he was a kid or at a racist rally, and they was like, oh, well, it was because he was 40. It was 42 years ago, 62 years ago. And you're like, okay, so you think his values changed now because he's the owner of a black organization, or you think, oh, he had 62 years to reform, and now he's not racist now? Like, come on, man. Like,
or maybe it's his views that got him to be the owner of a national football.
I mean, I'm just saying, bro. Like, it's
the United States.
You know, it's just.
And these men share a collective view. I know exactly what you mean. They come from a certain cloth. They were all raised in a certain time. And no one shedding a light on Jerry Jones and his participation in that picture.
Yeah, man.
About what he doing. So yeah, you're absolutely right, AJ.
Weird, man.
I mean, I want to know what she thinks. I can respect the speaking out and a cry out, I guess, for sympathy, but it's the crown. Like, why do you think they? You know what I mean? They think that you're gonna get some type of fucking respect when you walk through those doors, like to say who's there to protect me. They do all this searching when we come in there, like you mean something to them. Yeah, no.
That's the woman thing, man.
And she showed you that right off to who are you? Like,
you
don't belong here. It's pure white. Like, she right in your face. So, apology for what? Fuck. I wouldn't expect nothing different. So, that's just me.
So, okay.
Telling you, man.
Say no differently, please.
And let's see. Do I got one more? I got maybe one, maybe two. I want to show y'all what a psychopath looks like, but from a different perspective.
Psychopath or sociopath? Psychopath.
Psychopath.
Ooh.
More of a real life view.
Okay.
I want you guys to check this out. And I want to know what y'all think.
You gotta watch some court shows of them, doing the questioning.
Prison. I'm the third ranking gang member in the state. I control contraband, I control knives, I control gang movement, I control a lot of stuff. So I wake up in my cell and I'm hungry. And as a prison boss, you get benefits. So I said, I'm hungry. I get up, walk out of my cell, get a guy a head nod. He opens the gate. I knock on the kitchen door. The guy slides the metal thing back. He looks, he sees it's me. Give him a head nod. They open the kitchen door. Now I'm standing in the prison kitchen. I turn to the two guys over by the grill. I said, yo, make me a hamburger. Turn to the other guy, yo, go make me a shake. And I'm standing there chilling like, yo, okay, I'm about to eat. Then this guy comes out of the kitchen, suit jacket on. He says, what are you doing in my kitchen? He's screaming at me like, who are you? What are you doing in my kitchen? He said, who are you? I said, first, all this screaming you're doing is not necessary. We're grown men. We can communicate like grown men. I said, I'm the regulator. He says, well, what do you regulate? I said, if you go home or not. I regulate way if you go home in a box or you walk out of here on your 2 feet. And he heard me and he's looking at me like to see if I'm joking, but I'm not joking. I'm like, dude, I can kill you right now. Right now, they're cooking me a hamburger. If I kill you, you'll be dead. Your wife will miss you. Your kids will miss you. I'll go to solitary confinement, maybe 5, 6, 7 years. And while I'm in solitary, I don't have a wife. I don't have kids. So my only dilemma, which is the question to you, do I get a hamburger today or do I give it in 7 years? And he's looking at me like, oh my God. And he walked over to the grill. He said to the grill man, make them 2. What they didn't explain to him was prisoners run the prison. It was not me trying to be tough, but he was like in my way of what I wanted. And when people get in my way, you got to deal with it. And there's consequences to everything.
I heard that.
And again, just, from a different lens. I can get my hamburger today, or I could get it in 6 or 7 years. Your choice.
I've known many personalities like that.
Because the only thing that's going to be different in me is I'm going to have a bigger appetite for the hamburger in about 7 years.
Right.
But he has no remorse, no feelings about taking that man's life because he's proven a point. This is the life I chose. I run this jail. You own the jail. Yeah, you may profit from the jail and all of that, but when them gates slam and there's no way out except being let out, you just like everybody else. You're a prisoner.
Yes. Yes. I like that. He was the regulator. I like the way you put it. I'm just saying. 2 burgers. Make one for that nigga for later.
He said make him 2
I didn't know, so
burgers.
I just didn't know. I didn't know it was like that.
What you think, AJ? He said your wife gonna miss you, your kids gonna miss you, not me.
That's real life.
Right.
The choice is yours.
So sometimes that lack of remorse can be scary, not only to us lookers on as just innocent bystanders, so to speak, collateral damage, so to speak, but for those that think they are the authority, and authority,
egos, man.
Can be
You just
180.
never know. You just never know the monster you are coming upon.
You
have
don't?
no idea. And your ego versus that monster ain't gonna win. So,
No, I hear what you're saying, but let's take a look at another example. Y'all hold on to y'all hats.
if they ain't never watched the series Oz back in the day.
That shit right there.
Shout out to Adabisi.
Too graphic for me.
Don't praise
Shout out to all the fellas.
Real.
Word. Speaking of prison officers, we seen 911 operators, we seen firefighters.
Yes.
I can go 90 miles an hour. You can't. You can't do that. So get the out of the way.
A Washington State police officer is suspended after posting a controversial video to TikTok.
If us officers stay behind you long enough, we can find a reason to pull you over. So you might as well get the out of the way.
The since-deleted TikTok was created by Federal Way police officer Brianna Strauss, who said it was a public service announcement for other drivers.
PSA to everyone out there. I'm speaking for myself, but I'm probably speaking for a large majority of other officers out there. If we're driving on the freeway in our police car, get the out of the way. Get the out of the way.
In the 38-second clip, Strauss tells the viewers, quote, "I can go 90 miles per hour. You can't." She also says officers will find a way to pull someone over.
If us officers stay behind you long enough, we can find a reason to pull you over. So you might as well get the out of the way.
While the video was removed from TikTok, it made waves across the internet when a Reddit user posted a screen recording of the video.
If you merge and we follow behind you and we merge too, you're probably in trouble. Best way to find that out is get the out of the way.
In a statement to local media, the Federal Way Police Department said in part, quote, "We have viewed the social media video posted by Officer Strauss and can assure you that it does not represent the core values and practices of our police department." Strauss later received a 10-hour suspension without pay. Police say that's equal to 1 shift. For the latest developments in this story and all things true crime, stay with Long Crime Network.
What you saying, AJ? Get out of here with that.
Nah, but I watched that video. I mean, it's real though. She ain't lie. Cop behind me, I'm moving the fuck out the way. I could be 100% legal.
Absolutely.
But it's
Move
not
out the
legal.
way.
It's not legal.
Hey, listen here.
Harassment.
That's cool. That's cool
And they
with
break
me.
the law by speeding for no reason. So to sit on there and you know do this PSA, yeah, no,
The whole-
she was absolutely in the wrong.
The whole pulling over process is illegal. They're on a device while you're distracted while driving. But you know, that's neither here or there. You know what I mean? In order for you to run my tags, you have to be driving behind me and on a laptop, not paying attention to the road at the same time. And at the same thing as, you know what I mean? So it is what it is.
Shit, some cities, everybody's chipped. So they might have just like a fucking flag. They got big ass computer systems in their cars.
AJ, you're not lying. It is what it is.
It is.
Mrs. Harris, trigger warning.
Oh, Lord.
First time here at Holmes Elementary. This has controversy brewing throughout the school district and the community.
I let my kids believe in whatever the hell they want to believe in, as long as they're happy and it's not hurting them or hurting someone else.
Christina Long sorts through her kids' bag.
Got some pencils and we got a sticker.
New school supplies from her kids' new group, the After School Satan Club. Did your kids have fun today?
Oh yeah, they had a blast. They can't wait for the next one.
It's sponsored by the Satanic Temple. The after-school program is popping up around the nation and in many schools that also give space to Christian groups. In Ohio, there's 3: Lebanon, Eaton, and now Wilmington.
We look to Satan as a symbol for standing up to tyrannical authority. To us, Satan is a symbol. It's like Santa Claus or the Tooth Fairy.
The new group isn't about conjuring up spells. Instead, June Everett, the After School Satan Club National Director, says it's about critical thinking, creative expression, and inclusion.
We don't talk about Satanism, even though we are non-theistic, meaning we don't believe, again, in a supernatural Satan. We don't push it on the kids.
Playing devil's advocate is Jane Johns. She stands alongside others that question the Satan Club's motives.
I think most people are frightened by hearing that. I mean, that is a little, uneasy to take in.
Wilmington City Schools released a lengthy statement that reads in part, the After School Satan Club is not a district or school-sponsored event, and it does not endorse the activities or the intent of the group or any religious groups.
I understand that we have to have both. You know, if you allow one, you have to allow the other. But, with Satanism, everything's linked to be evil. It's what we've been taught.
This sticker was one of many things passed out to kids in their goodie bags this afternoon, and this group will meet once a month. Reporting in Wilmington, Danielle Dindak, WLWT.
What y'all think?
Wow. We have no funding for music and art, even fucking gym. Extended physical education, no home economics, no real, forget sex education. Let's talk about reproductive education. There's no room for that. We got a Satan freaking club? Really? No music producer clubs, no drumline clubs. That club, where the money coming from? Because they said it's not being funded by school, so it's an outside source that's funding that. But we're not promoting Satanism.
AJ, no yawning before midnight.
That's amazing.
You're right.
Incredibly amazing.
Satan teaches love.
He teach music. He was the
Oh,
leader of music. But we in a new day and age.
Yeah, right. The music is
We in a
Satan.
new day and age.
I mean, it definitely has some. Yeah.
But you got any information you want to give out before we get out of here? Sociopath,
Oh my goodness.
psychopath.
I mean, just be on the lookout. Be mindful. And vet your friends and family.
Let's give them some pointers on how to spot.
Okay. That might be
these type of people before we get out of here. We don't want to just bombard them with that. We want to give them some solutions. So let's do this. Let's see if you guys.
So we should just go get a mental health evaluation. Check on yourself.
You should.
A little bit.
You should encourage it, or at least see the reaction when you do mention it. How they react.
Keep a journal.
I mean, yes, believe it or not, it's extremely difficult to spot a psychopath. It's a lot easier to spot a sociopath. Psychopaths are charming, witty, intelligent, and generally tremendously good company to be around. They're masters at mimicking emotions and can even make you believe that they're in love with you or care about you enormously, when in reality they don't. It's all an act, because they're brilliant actors. Sociopaths, on the other hand, are a different kettle of fish. They don't tend to play well with others. They do throw their toys out of the pram a lot. They're quite open and direct about not caring about anyone but themselves, and they're usually quite vocal about it. But they tend to blame others for the behavior rather than taking responsibility themselves. So, for example, they'll say things like, I flew off the handle and smashed my phone against the wall because David didn't do the report right, and I was on a deadline, and so it's David's fault that I lost my temper. This kind of thing. Psychopaths are cold as ice, though. They'll manipulate their way to get whatever it is they want without a care in the world. They'll ruthlessly remove obstacles. And if that obstacle happens to be you, they won't think twice about it. So, sociopaths are the same, but their inability to remain in control of their emotions tends to give them away. They can get quite hot-headed and passionate. It's not really passion, though, but they can get quite hot-headed. So that's the difference. Psychopaths will be very charming and witty and very nice to be around, but cold as ice. Sociopaths don't tend to be nice to be around, and they can be quite hot-headed and quite hot-tempered as well.
He just described a lot of behavior I see.
Mm-hmm.
Especially.
So what?
And me?
No, yeah, no, go ahead.
What do you call somebody that's both?
Both?
I got a little blend of both. What's that called?
Shit.
I mean,
I think a psychopath is just a sociopath on a grander scale.
Absolutely.
Okay, there we go. I like that.
Sociopath is a little more impulsive. Psychopath is really, you're talking about like Dharma, like people who are really controlled in their shit.
And
blendable.
It's innate in a psychopath.
Yeah.
Sociopaths can be created. Psychopaths, it's in there. It's
yes,
always
more
been
self-control. Yes, and calculating.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But what stood out to me was the remove people from your life under any means necessary, through manipulation, so on and so forth. And we played a clip last week that said, does a woman really love, or is their love something different? And the gentleman alluded to as an example, a mom will hate her son's girlfriend. She'll straight hate her and eliminate her. If I say my son break up with you, my son break up with you. I'm mama.
It's some of y'all out there. It's some of y'all out there. And proud of it. They'll say it before the child is even.
Will say it in the drop of
a dating age. They're not even at a dating age, but they'll have that claim of, if I don't like the bitch, she got to go.
And again, when I hear the other example of lying to get what they want, if they're manipulative and then lie and tell, untruths about this person to get you to break up with them, that's a sociopathic person. Borderline psychopathic, because they're creating realities now. You got a Thanos stone, got the reality stone. This behavior is dangerous. We think it's just, she loves her son. He loves his daughter. No, it's a little different. It's borderline suspect.
You gotta be mindful of that grasp
you should be
that maternal parent will have in the dynamic of your union, because
you should be mindful.
Yeah.
So it's just me and you.
It is.
Got
Thank you,
to
AJ.
myself. Shout out to
Joining
AJ
us.
for coming through.
Brother,
we appreciate you.
Brother Oz for pulling up for a second.
Shout out to Oz for checking in.
Relax. Jay, what's just a little something we need to talk about? The differences between the two. I think a lot of us in this society now do a lot of self-diagnosing.
Okay.
Without even, going to get evaluated. And if you do have even, Medicaid or something like that to have a mental assessment evaluation, just get it done.
Absolutely. I mean, it's better to know than to not.
And
And
there's somebody to talk to, and I think a lot of us are not really, digging deep and diving deep in their reflecting. So it's gonna be hard to grow and change when you're not really as you should.
I agree.
And only you know how deep you need to dive. Like, I can't tell you. You have to do it.
True indeed. I mean, just again, the way that people present themselves and the air in which some people walk, it just presents to me a hint of these titles. And again, little fires lead to big fires. Snowballs go downhill and they get bigger.
Yes.
And, for people to display these characteristics and us to dismiss them as them just being crazy, I think is a little insensitive for us as people. If we behave a little more conscious, a little more empathetic, I think we create less sociopaths. I think that, the psychopaths are going to be what they be. It's innate based on definition. So,
to some degree.
Right, to some degree, I think human kindness is always going to negate. But the sociopaths are the ones I believe we have a little bit of control over, and that we as people can move a little bit different.
Right.
What do you think about the two words,
I mean,
the
I
two
agree.
types of personalities?
I agree with the moving a little different, especially with our little people. Them coming up now, creating a dynamic where they know how to self-soothe and de-escalate themselves, to where they don't have to have those impulses when they are out of control. Because we all go through it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And that's hard to learn. So those things on top of just education is very important to start to do too. They have to hone in and reflect on their emotions and learn more words than just being angry and sad.
Absolutely.
There's so many things to explain how you're feeling. Frustrated, annoyed,
Perturbed.
hopeless, right, all of that. It's a lot.
Frustrated,
So,
agitated, aggravated.
right. Bored. Overwhelmed. And they don't know those things. So, to start giving them a little visual of that may create a different dynamic of them expressing themselves. So, a lot of it's our job. And mind what they watching.
Indeed.
Some Satan clubs ain't good.
Absolutely.
I don't know about that.
Television, movies, you know, all of it has a certain slant. And psychopaths, sociopaths are something that they don't put a negative connotation on to an extent. They kind of glorify, absolutely. Again, you know, Joker and Harley Quinn would probably be my favorite psychopaths. Just devoid of feeling and remorse, but yet, like you sat down and watched Joker recently, he was creative.
Yes.
He had a mom, he had situations, he had struggle.
His DNA came from because he was adopted.
Right, again, but you know, right. You know, we don't want to do spoilers for
But
the
all
people,
of it is
right, and finding these things out,
absolutely
and
created.
right,
He's the Invisible Man, and I mean, I don't know if y'all didn't. If you don't even remember the Invisible guy in your school, then shame on you. Like, cause there were some. You know what I mean? The people didn't pay attention to or speak to, or the nerd that was just sitting around at the lunch table, whatever. Like, those people exist, and you know, we create these monsters by ignoring them, making them feel like nothing. You know, and they're humans just like us. And, you know, the shallow world that we live in, the delusion that we live in, people are just not good enough to even freaking speak to. And shame on us.
Shame.
I never was really that kind of person, but I'm going to add me in here too. Fuck it, I don't want to exclude myself. But shame on y'all. Damn it.
No, I mean, again, you know, you always spoke to being an advocate for bullies and never being on the side of being, you know, somebody that was down to watch somebody get bullied or be in the room with a bully situation going on. But, you know, at the same time, I think that us as a society, we have a certain insensitivity to the little guy, to the underdog, to, you know, a particular type. Exactly. There you go. So again, I think a little bit more sensitivity, a little bit more empathy, a little bit more consideration can create a better environment. I think I'm a bully, sis said. You're not a bully.
I was about to say, I'm a bully.
You're not a bully. You don't think I'm a bully? No, you're not a bully, sis.
I'm a bully. I probably was a bully at one time. Yeah, no.
I don't think I would agree with that. But we definitely not sociopaths and psychopaths. I think we have a lot of consideration for human beings, although, you know, we may not admire them very much. We may not think that they are very high quality at times.
I think we have the magic, we just don't know.
And I think that's why I feel, you know, on the opposite side of the spectrum, I think we have so much potential to do things. I think people present themselves as very sophisticated and educated and elevated. But when you start peeling the layers on those onions, you get more close to sociopathic and psychopathic than intellectual and cerebral. And this is why, you know, I lean toward this conversation, is because although we all get in these boxes, we have conversations, but the theme that I hear is that we all been through stuff.
Absolutely.
We all need to be considered about the stuff that we've been through. And that leans more toward the sociopath and the psychopath side than the intellectual and cerebral side. Because of these things that create us, that created the Joker. It's these circumstances that we proclaim that we've been through, that we need to consider. And absolutely, we've all been through things. But again, I'll ask my question before we leave here. What's your reward? You've been through so much. What light was at the end of that tunnel? Is it your job? Is it your kids? Is it your degree? Is it that big, beautiful house you have?
teenage
that beautiful vehicle you have outside?
struggles in those 20s.
Is it your degrees hanging on the wall? Is it your ministry? Is it your pastor? But what is your reward for all those dark nights that you went through? All those days you were walking by yourself saying, I'm going to be great one day. I'm going to have a family. I'm going to have a job. I'm going to have a car. I'm going to have a house. You got all that stuff. Why you still walking around borderline psychopath, though? And sociopath, why you not happy?
What's the reward?
Why you not happy spreading joy, smiling, speaking?
I don't know. I'm realistic about the life cycle at this point. There's birth, growth, and development. There's reproduction, and there's death. So, you know, I'm just thankful for every day that I get to breathe through these lungs. And, you know, I'm going to, you know, do my best every day. You know, just, I said, that's my gratefulness. It's nothing really specific. I'm happy to still be here. Like you said, and some of us, you know, weren't expecting to get to 40.
True.
So,
True
you
indeed.
know,
True indeed. Some of us
I'm
sitting at this
grateful.
table.
Right? Grateful. Grateful, to say the least. So.
True indeed. I'm just conscious, man, and I've always been proud of consciousness because again, it eliminates excuses. There's no way I could tell you I didn't know. You know, I had no idea. You know, like that's my fault. That's your fault. You had no idea. You don't know what's going on. You're a whole grown man out here. That says more about you than anything. So in order to eliminate that, I try to be as well-rounded as I can and add to that and just build. Either you building or you destroying. And I would much rather build. So, you know, that consciousness is going to always put in my mind how other people feel. I may not give a damn about how you feel. But I know you feel. Absolutely. Some people get consideration, some people don't. It just is what it is. And we all move this way. Some people may not say it. But, you know, I absolutely empathize and sympathize with the psychopaths and the sociopaths of the world and the borderlines because I can see y'all. I see the personality traits. I see the behaviors forming.
I like to think I was created.
But, you know, be as mindful as you can of your actions and in the way you treat people. And when it's warranted, you absolutely give them the medicine that they need. But when they deserve compliments and kudos, you should absolutely be able to give those as well. But
this was wicked.
Yeah, it was an interesting conversation. I know a lot of people, you know, weren't gonna wanna be a part of something like this.
Yeah.
This is pretty, you know.
And we ain't professional
not
analysts or anything.
not by all means.
We just like to talk.
Absolutely.
Discuss
And again, that's why
things.
this was more of a, you know, this is a opportunity to curtail and not, you know, exhibit these characteristics.
Well, I've been known to, be very impulsive.
Me as well. And like we said in the beginning, we're not eliminating ourselves from no conversation that we have. But at the same time, it's that presence of consciousness that I think separates the men from the boys, the women from the girls, so to speak.
And I would have to say, you know, just the foolish and bad choices and, you know, decisions I made as a youth have tried to be, you know, excused. And, you know, like, you were young, you know, even at 13, 14, 15, 16, I was, absolutely. But, you know, don't take that shame from me. I got to own that. You know what I mean? So, reflecting even from back then, it's a good thing, you know. You gotta do it. Own your shit.
Absolutely.
Nobody perfect.
And again,
It's our
you
job
know,
to teach, though.
I had to own the neighborhood I grew up in. The movies that I watched just helped me reflect. The old dogs, the bishops, the so many characters that were, you know, very callous, very insensitive to the neighborhoods, to life, to liberty, pursuit of happiness, so on and so forth. That I had to reflect on myself. That I graduated to a certain level of callousness. I can walk past a homeless person on the street. I can walk past a prostitute on the street and have no, you know, remorse at all. No empathy, sympathy, but that had to stop when I, you know, had my family, when I got, you know, these women in my life that I see every day, that I don't want to be like these women that I see in the street that have negative experiences. So it creates a certain level of sincerity, of realistic view of how life could be for anybody. But at the same time, I'm a dad. I have to give it to you straight. No chaser sometimes. And I'm not going to shy away from that. But, you know, again, I understand that it creates feelings. I understand that it's hard to swallow, but at the same time, it got to be done. So I wouldn't lean more toward the sociopath side than the psychopath if I had to.
Calculating discipline.
Indeed. So let's get final thoughts, Mrs. Harris. Let's get your final thoughts before we get out of here.
I mean, you know, this was good. It's always good to have an evaluation. You know, find you someone who will dig deep and don't just ask the surface bullshit.
Right.
And for ladies, I would say find you a man therapist. They're a little different.
Gotcha.
I think the women pacified me a lot. They coddled a lot, or just, you know, you got it right. Sounds like you got it all worked out. Yeah, bitch, I'm trying to paint you a picture here. Versus the man I had just would dig a little, like, hey, wait, let's rewind a little bit. And I used to love that, like, yeah, ooh, you're right. Oh shit, oops. So that I appreciate, you know. But I grew up with that, so it wasn't hard for me to swallow, to be checked. Like, let's rewind that. You sound a little so, yeah.
For me, I would say, you know, just try to make better mistakes. I think that is the ultimate sign of maturity and growth. That you don't sit in the mistakes that you made or make duplicate. That you're always elevating, you're always building or trying to add on. And if you do, you know, make a mistake, it's better than the one you made yesterday. It shows that you're examining, focusing, intaking information, and then moving accordingly. And you might not always make the right moves, but you're still moving. And I think that's the most important thing. I think we go to school a lot for many years, 12, 13, maybe even more. And we always take tests where we got to get the right answer all the time.
Right.
And we graduate school and we still live our life thinking we got to get the right answer all the time. And it's only one answer.
Right.
Because on our test in school, it was only one answer. It was A, B, C, or D, or E, if E was all of the above or something like that. But it was only one.
Right.
But in life, we find out it's so many different answers to one question. It could be 20, 30 different answers that are correct. And, you know, I think that's how we get programmed as we become older. And this is what creates these sociopathic, psychopathic mentalities, is because we always have to be right. It has to be our way. We have a scenario painted in our head, and if it doesn't go that way, the whole classroom may be in jeopardy.
I think something that was taught to us young, the journaling for girls. Girls usually had diaries and, you know, the lock and key and stuff like that. So it's good to, you know, put your thoughts, feelings on paper. So even as a grown woman, it's okay to have a little journal book. And let's say at the end of the month, you know, every end of the month, last day of the month, you sit down and you reflect on that month. So at the end of the year, it's just like memoirs, you know, and those mistakes you made, just whatever you desire to put in those thoughts. So then the next year, you reflect on those things, you know.
And you have a chronological order of your thought process through the years. Maybe in February you think a certain way, and
Yeah.
maybe every April it seems like my thoughts are
We
just
kind of have these a
negative,
little
and,
bit, but to write it down is a little
or
more
even
personal.
maybe May my thoughts are positive. So maybe when the sun and the spring and the weather
Yes.
changes, your mood
Seasonal.
changes. So all of
Yes.
these things to have
You know
to
what it
keep
is.
track of will absolutely curtail and monitor our mood and our character. And I think all of these things help. That's a great
Yeah.
suggestion.
I mean, and as for women, as your hormones change, it's gonna change. So keeping track of that, you can see when shit, started to go off a little bit or whatever. And it's good for the doctors because they ask a lot of detail.
Absolutely.
And if you don't know, it's hard for them to figure it out for you when you didn't keep track. So.
All right. Well, shout
That's
out
been
to
great,
you,
man.
Mrs. This was fun. It's always fun chopping it up with you. And it's always fun chopping it up with y'all. It's always our pleasure to come here on Thursdays and get it out. But now we getting ready to go have some food and see what we gonna do. I think I get to go to work a little late tomorrow. And I don't have to travel. I get to go right downstairs. So
yes. It's Friday.
Pretty good. And shout out to everybody that's gonna enjoy the weekend. Everybody, be nice to somebody other than you, because that is when real character shines through.
Right.
And that's for real, man. Mrs. Harris, get us out of here, y'all.
Y'all have a good night. Have a safe weekend. Shout out to everybody. Peace.
Everything in creation and in physical form has its own fundamental resonant frequencies. Everything in
If you haven't already subscribed to the Harris Tribe Media Group, go on over there and subscribe to them. Check them out, see if that's the kind of content you get down for, man. Shout out to the Harris Tribe.
And man, definitely listen, a husband and wife duo. Man, let me tell you, if you listen to these two, you can see how